All right, cool. We are good. Okay, so recap. So you all return to Nightstone to fight it slowly, beginning to rebuild, and its villagers resettle with the help of Zolkin and Kea. After you guys rescued all of the villagers from the dripping caves. But soon a massive tower on top of a cloud appeared, hundreds of feet above all of your heads, and you all ascended up these steps to meet a cloud giant named Zephyros. Zephyros told you all that he was contacting higher entities that instructed him to help you all because you were the ones to restore the ordering, which is the hierarchy of all giants. And right now it's been completely shattered. Zephyros agreed to take you all to Bryn Shander to find Dalinar Nandar, Lady Velrosa's eldest son, to inform him of his mother's passing. During the journey, the tower was attacked by a group of air elemental cultists of the Howling Hatred, but you all managed to defeat them and spared one of the cultists' lives before continuing on your flight to Bryn Shander. On about day 20 of your flight from the 26th, you encountered a huge silver dragon that just landed onto Zephyros's tower here. So let me just get up to where I'm supposed to be on my page. Change up the tunes here, and then we will begin. I'm gonna paint you guys your scene here, just almost kind of like recapping a little bit from the last time. Boop. Okay, so you, Felix, as you look up, you see a huge silver dragon gliding through the clouds, approaching quickly. And as it flies closer, you see a number of armored dwarves clutched in its talons. You, Lysander, Victor, and Asmodeus hear the furious beating of wings against air. Felix, I need you to go ahead and roll a perception check for me as you're kind of eyeing this dragon as it gets closer. Let's see if you're able to identify how many dwarves he's actually carrying there in its talons.
Perception. Oop.
And as he's rolling that, Victor, Asmodeus, I'm just gonna hide Lysander here for a second. A natural 1 on that for a 3. Sweet, Victor, Asmodeus,
Yep.
you guys hear the beating of wings getting closer and closer and closer. You, Felix, see the dragon kind of come over like hundreds of feet above you, dropping something off, you're not sure what, before landing just northwest of you, releasing some dwarves, right, who eye you with axes in hand. What do you guys do? Felix, you first, and then I'll come to you, Victor, and Asmodeus.
I would like to warn everyone inside that they should probably get outside and see what I am seeing right now.
Gotcha. So right now, your position, you were on the outside of the walls there, whatnot. So you'd have to try to make your way around into the first floor of this building. Do you take off or do you try?
Oh yeah, let me zoom in.
I got you. Do you take off and try to get around into the inside of this building?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Victor, Asmodeus, you finish hearing like the woof, woof, woof of large wings. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna just turn to Asmodeus and be like, that does not sound good. Let's go check it out.
Okay, gotcha. And you guys all meet. You, Felix, you managed to take off before these dwarves were actually able to kind of come upon you or kind of like talk to you. And as you all round the corner to kind of get an eye on them, you all watch as this huge silver dragon begins to take off like straight into the air. And you see it land in a perches on top of the tower, kind of where you guys know where the griffins' nest are. Those griffins obviously kind of scattered to the winds there. And the dwarves approach all of you, short axes in hand, and they say, "Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum." Okay, gotcha. And they say,
"You all, have you been taken prisoner by the cloud giant within this fortress?"
No.
Asmodeus just goes, no, he's friendly.
Prisoner? No. It's a little playground in here.
The Cloud Giants have been rampaging throughout the north. All of the giants have been. We've been tasked here by Our Lady of the Mithril Hall to halt this fortress by any means necessary. If you are not prisoners, then what are you? Why are you here?
We're his guests, and he's giving us a ride to Bryn Shander.
Okay, I gotcha. I want you to go ahead and roll a either persuasion or deception check for me, whichever one you so choose. Nice.
19.
Sweet. And okay, gotcha. So on that 19, the two of the dwarves kind of like look at the one kind of taking lead in the conversation. As he talks to you, Asmodeus, and he says,
We must see proof of this. Our Lady will demand it of us. Not all giants are evil, but many are. Something has happened to them. Something is inherently wrong. Show me to where this giant is, and we will assess him and his credibility ourselves.
One second. Asmodeus is gonna dip off and stand under the opening. Hey, Zephyros!
Gotcha. Asmodeus, go ahead and roll a perception check for me as you kind of call out. As you call out and look upward for him.
7.
All right, 7. Gotcha. Felix and Victor, you see Asmodeus kind of like take off to go try to find Zephyros, but these dwarves are still out in front of you. Anything you guys do? The dwarves say to you both out there, as Asmodeus is kind of like tucked off in the corner,
And where did your friend run off to? We said escort us to talk to him. Do you plan to call for reinforcements?
No, but we don't know you, so maybe let's get him to come to you instead of taking you inside.
And as I told you, we will appraise him. Now get out
Yeah,
of
and we're
our way.
praising you.
Gotcha. So you see the dwarf that's kind of leading. They all kind of like stand in a line here, and they're making their way towards you, right? They stop about right there. You can tell that they're kind of like frustrated by not initially kind of getting their way there. Asmodeus,
Go ahead and kind of
scoot back.
scoot behind Victor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Victor's front man.
Gotcha. As Asmodeus, as you call out to Zephyros, what you see, what you hear and see kind of above you is kind of like grunting. Do you speak Dwarvish? Do you speak Dwarf?
I do.
Asmodeus?
Do not. I do not.
I gotcha. So what you don't understand what's being said above you, Asmodeus, and you, Victor, are kind of outside of range, so you won't hear and whatnot. But you hear dwarves kind of speaking a different language, and you see like a huge staff kind of being used almost as like a getaway stick being waved over that 20-foot hole. As you hear Zephyros say, "Well, get back! I didn't do anything wrong." That's what you hear, Asmodeus.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask Zephyros to bring me up there.
Okay, gotcha. You call out for Zephyros to bring you up there. Felix, Victor, the dwarves are still approaching you two, determined to get past you. What do you guys do?
I'm going to go ahead and take steady aim, and I'm going to have my daggers out as like don't get past this point, kind of like a menacing stance.
I
You dare
would
threaten
like
me?
to try persuasion to persuade them to stand down.
Okay, gotcha. Go and either roll a persuasion or deception check. It's going to be a contested check against their insight here, which is intelligence, I believe. Right?
All right.
Yeah, so, okay, I got
Go
you.
high, go high, go
They
high.
rolled an 11.
Dirty 20.
Sweet. So despite you see Felix kind of gripping his daggers and getting into like a posturing position, ready to strike, you, Victor, are managed to kind of calm the tension between the two as you see the dwarves kind of grip their hand axes, looking and eyeing Felix. As the lead dwarf looks to you, Victor, as he says,
"Control your friend there. You seem cautious enough, or at least not as imprudent. Lead us in there immediately."
And I told you to wait.
ooh,
And besides, you're the ones waving your axes around, so you can't get onto him for, preparing.
gotcha. You, Asmodeus, feel a gust of wind kind of spring around your feet as you are levitated to the second floor of the area here. And what you find in front of you are 3 additional dwarves here that are kind of being kept at bay by Zephyros. Once I get these dwarves up on the actual board. My internet's going super slow here.
That's
2
not
on
good.
3. Those odds aren't too bad.
Remember, while I get this stuff loaded here, what you guys do recall that they are here on the assumption that Zephyros is a evil cloud giant, and they've been tasked with stopping him and his tower. You, Asmodeus, as you get up there, you still see that he's like, as Zephyros is kind of in between the navigation orb and these dwarves. I'm just gonna do this.
As Modus gets lifted up, he's like holding his hands as like hey, let's chill out for a second.
Gotcha. I want you to roll
And
a
let's talk about this.
persuasion or deception check for me. Your choice.
And then they're both the same. Fucking another 19.
Another 19. Sweet. You, Asmodeus, the 3 dwarves kind of look over to you. One begins kind of speaking in a gruff tone. It's like,
"Have you been brainwashed by this beast of a man, this beast of a giant here?"
We have not. He is he is the owner of this castle, and we are his guests. He is giving us a ride to Bryn Shander. I am currently trying to bring him downstairs so we can all talk about this human beings or civil beings and not cause complete and utter anarchy. That would be nice. So if you don't mind, can we go downstairs so we can have adult conversations instead of like trying to murder somebody that you don't even know yet?
"We've murdered plenty of giants so far in the northern
Yeah, I
regions.
don't give a shit about that. I'm just trying to have a
I see you're on
adult
his
conversation.
side, aren't you?"
You guys out for this? He gave us food, bedding, and a place to stay, and a ride. A lot more can be said from you dwarfs. You guys
Well,
are
that
always
doesn't-
shortchanging me at my shop.
Oh, shit.
Well, that doesn't sound very much like a cloud giant in his activities.
Yes,
You.
this cloud giant has ascended to what I can only assume is a higher intelligence,
gotcha.
and that he is some sort of mage.
Go ahead and roll another persuasion or deception check for me at advantage here up there, Asmodeus, as I go back to you, Victor and Felix. As you, Victor, are still very staunch in your motion of do not cross, right? And as you say that, the dwarves are one of the lead dwarf is going to look you straight in the eye as he says,
"Well, isn't that a shame? I'm not gonna take any chances."
and you, Victor and Felix, see one of these dwarves lunge at Victor, looking to pin him against the wall right there. Let's see who moves faster here. Victor, go ahead and roll just go ahead and roll initiative here. I'm going to roll a dex check to see who actually moves faster here to make this happen. The dwarf rolled a 15.
Fuck.
Gotcha. So you're not taking any damage here, but the dwarf is able to move a bit faster than you're able to react so far. And he has you right now. It's gonna be contested check. So he's gonna try to like kind of grapple you against the wall. So he's gonna make a strength check You can, sorry, he's going to make an athletics. You can either make an athletics or acrobatics to try to evade. You, Felix, see the dwarf kind of move super fast here, pushing Victor against the wall. He rolled a 19. The dwarf rolled a 22. And this dwarf has...
Fucking hell!
Yeah, this dwarf has Victor pinned against the wall. Victor, what do you do as the two other dwarves kind of see this action and they make their way forward?
I'm going to try to persuade him one more time, but this time I want to speak in dwarf.
Okay. Gotcha. Go ahead and roll your persuasion or deception, this time at disadvantage because they're very aggravated. Felix, what do you do as you see Victor pressed against that wall?
Well, he is going to try to persuade them one more time. So I guess I can leave that one alive.
Come on. Fuck, it didn't matter. They're both 5 or 4s.
Okay, I am going to go for... That's within dagger range. Okay, so I am going to attack Dwarf A.
Okay, gotcha. If you're going to attack, I'm going to have everybody roll for initiative here. Hold on, let me hide a couple of things. You, as Modus, are able to diffuse the situation on that second floor. As you begin to hear violent shouting happening below you and outside. Asmodus, I'm still going to have you roll for initiative, though, for me, okay? And then when it comes upon your turn, then everybody... Actually, at the bottom of the initiative order, then the rest of everybody up there on the second floor will move. So I just have to hide a couple of people in their character sheets here. So Lysander, hide, boop, boop. So I got 12, 11, and 9. Okay. 9 for Asmodus, 11 for Felix, 12 for Victor. Shield Dwarves rolled a 21 collectively. Okay.
Ooh.
Gotcha. So the Shield Dwarves are going to see you, Felix, get extremely aggressive. The one pinning Victor against the wall is going to growl, and he says, "Don't believe any of their tricks. Get them. Knock them unconscious. Hurt them pretty bad, but they're not our target. We don't have to kill them." All right? As Sword, so B is going to run up to you, and C is going to run up to you, Felix. Both kind of swinging at you wildly with like their battle axes here. They get to make 2 attacks against you, so 2 from B. The first is going to be for a 13, which you managed to dodge against the side. But the second one hits you at a 15, as you feel the sting of a blade against your side for 7 points of damage. All right. As the other dwarf comes up against your other side, you see this blade coming at you, though, and you manage to duck out of the way before his last strike cuts across for 8, which also you managed to dodge out of the way. Dwarf A here is going to continue his grapple against you. He is going to make a single strike against you, though, Victor, because he's going to choose to maintain his grapple there, kind of with his great axe for a 10, which kind of slams into the wall kind of behind you, missing you here. So, Victor, it's your go with Felix on deck.
All right. What do I need to break out a grapple?
You can use your action to break out of the grapple, and it'll just be a contested check. So either be your athletics or acrobatics, contested by a strength check by me.
All right, then I will attempt to break out.
You'll attempt to break out. Okay, go ahead and either roll your check there.
Fuck.
A 14. All right, I'll do my roll in just a second. I just want to... Escaping a grappled creature can use its action to escape. To do so, it must succeed on a strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics check contested by your strength athletics check. Okay, cool. So the dwarf is going to roll... Actually, as I change up the music here, it's a little bit... Ooh, so you're still pinned there for a 21 as he rolled. So you try to push up against him, but the dwarf kind of slams you back as he says, "Stay put while we'll deal with your roguish-looking friend." You still have your bonus action. What else do you do? Felix, you're on deck. Asmodus, you're after that.
Awesome. Let me see what I actually have for bonus actions.
Summon that beautiful, beautiful Eldritch
don't.
Cannon. Oh no, that's an action to do it initially, huh?
Yeah, that's the action. I can use it as a bonus action, but I'd have to first take the action. Yeah, there's nothing I can do.
No, nothing so far. Okay, gotcha. Felix, it's your go with Asmodeus on deck.
So I'm going to. I'm going to take steady aim and ready my daggers.
Gotcha. You have advantage on your first strike.
I'm going to go for Dwarf B. Let's see, advantage on my first attack. Is there a way I can just... Oh, there it is. Advantage. Advantage, roll.
24 hits.
Alright.
If it didn't, I'd be really worried right now.
No, you see that they're all in
So there's-
splint armor there. All right, 6 points. And then
So-
your sneak attack, please.
This is a little more difficult on the phone, but I can make it work.
Oh no, you're making it work right there. Okay, so that's your first strike. As you, after dodging 4 axe blows but only one hitting you, you see your opportunity and you manage to stab one through its split mail, and like a crack of its split mail, drawing some blood.
Alright, second dagger, come on.
Sorry.
Ooh.
Your second one clings right off of their split mail, missing.
Alright, and let me read. That move. Speed is 0 until the end. Okay, so I can't move.
But you can still
I
take
will
keep
look
going.
towards.
Mm-hmm.
I will look towards door A, and I will say, "Get your chubby little nubs off of my friend."
And you hear a gruff "Fuck you, elf!" back at you. You can still take a cunning action. You can take the dodge, cunning action dodge, so that attacks against you have disadvantage until the start of your next round, if you so choose.
Actions.
It'll be a bonus action there.
Actions other. It'll be a bonus action. Okay.
Yep, that's one of your ability,
Yes,
one of
I
your
will
rows.
take the
Cunning action dodge.
dodge.
All right, gotcha.
Yep.
So you get low, prepared to dodge more attacks. Asmodeus, it's your go. You hear the clanging of metal against metal down below you, and vicious shouting. You hear distinct, like "fuck you, elf" coming down below. What do you do?
Asmodeus is gonna let out a big sigh and go, Zephyros, how good are you at diffusing situations?
You look at Zephyros, and he looks back down at you, kind of still 50 feet towering above you, as he says,
Well, I think I'm pretty good. Why don't we have these dwarves here go down to calm whoever's below? Come, you will see that I am friendly, and I am not menacing at all. Here, have this fly.
right? And as he says fly, wind begins to kind of spool at everybody's feet there. The dwarves and yours, Asmodeus, as you've got like a little bit of a fly speed to get down there. Sweet.
Yeah, Asmodeus is gonna drop down and wait for Zephyros to come down, of course with the dwarves,
Mm-hmm.
and basically come outside and start trying to defuse the situation.
Gotcha. So what you see, is that dwarf pinning Victor against the wall. There's a couple of there's a little bit of blood underneath Felix and one of these dwarves who's kind of locked into a melee here. Go ahead and roll a persuasion or deception at disadvantage for me to try to defuse the situation here.
That's why I need Zephyros down here. Fucking
Correct. So it's not his turn just yet.
fucking 7.
7.
Oh.
And as you cut around the corner, you hear one of the dwarves say, "We've got another one, boss!" As the dwarf pinning Victor looks back and he says, "Knock his ass out too, boys." Right? Cool. Anything else that you do as Asmodeus?
The only thing that I would like to do I don't know if I can, because I don't know if Zephyros will allow me to. So I'm just gonna wait for him to come out, and I'm going to not initiate combat, and I'm gonna hold my hands in like a kind of half surrender pose of like, I'm not here to fight, I'm here to make peace.
Gotcha. I love it. And as you do that, you hear like the soft like thump 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 of all their feet kind of landing in that first floor behind you before Zephyros and the rest of these dwarves kind of are using long sequence of movement speed here, you know, not necessarily playing true to the accuracy of it here, but they do come around the corner kind of seeing the melee. The other dwarves behind you, Asmodus, instantly get anxious, kind of gripping their hand axes as they see everything's going on. The dwarves' turns here and whatnot, as they see the cloud giant coming around the corner with the three dwarves in tow. You, Victor, are going to feel the grip on your shirt and your armor there loosen as the dwarf lets you go, looking at the oncomers as he says,
You all, what is the meaning of this? Is he...
I told you to let me talk.
You there, elf in the yellowish robes.
Yeah.
Let
This
us
is
see our companions to make sure
Zephyros,
they're not mind-controlled. Immediately, or else this one will get hurt
as he points to Victor. It's gonna be all
As
their
Modus
turn.
is gonna walk over. As Modus is gonna walk over to the dwarfs, and he's going to look them all dead in the eye and just ask simply, "Are you under mind control? Yes or no?"
Yeah. And they all speak in Dwarven, kind of back to their boss. You, Victor, are able. You're only one to understand this, as it's like a pass phrase essentially. They're saying like rock and stone, in different variations, kind of verifying that they are who they say they are. And as you, Victor, hear those words exchanged, the tense expressions on the shield dwarves in front of you kind of relax a bit. You, Felix, Victor, it's your go here with Felix on deck. As the three dwarves in front of you guys choose not to attack.
Okay, am I still grappled, or
You
he
are
let
not.
me go?
He let you go, and you can see that he's not as angry as he once was.
His ass.
Now I'm just gonna say I told you.
Okay, gotcha. Felix, the dwarves in front of you are still kind of clutching their axes, but they didn't make any swings.
Can I I'm assuming from the conversations I can differentiate that Dwarf A is their leader?
Yes.
Okay, I will like to look towards him and then point to my wound and be like, "You're going to fix this."
And as you say that, the dwarf kind of like eyes your wound. He says,
Hewin, get that elf there a bandage to stem that bleeding.
right, as one of the dwarves kind of approaches you there, with a bandage. Felix, do you accept?
I'm going to kind of just snatch it, like a real quick snatch out of his hands.
Okay. Yeah, you
And
managed.
give him an ugly look.
Like a sassy snatch.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you, Felix, you kind of begin bandaging yourself up as as the three other dwarves kind of meet up with their compatriots here. Actually, let me fix the image. Ba, ba, ba. So the dwarves kind of meet up with their compatriots.
Can Asmodus and Can Asmodus see if either Dwarf B or C got hurt in the exchange?
You see that Felix managed to get a good blow in against Dwarf B, who you already see kind of like tending to his wounds already.
Well, Asmodus is gonna walk up and offer, like, a hand with like patching him up and stuff, because you know, as Modus can use the honey to like rub it on the wound and stuff like that to kind of
Go ahead and
soothe a little
do
bit of the burning.
a medicine check for me.
Okay.
He gives him the spicy honey.
I gave him the spicy honey.
Yeah, so as you approach with your honey,
it's icy hot. It's icy hot.
You rub it against one of his wounds, and you hear like a, it burns, damn it.
Sorry, it's icy hot. It's icy hot one. Let me change that real quick. My bad. I grabbed the wrong one. That was for the muscles.
Okay, a couple of the other dwarves kind of start chuckling at what just happened here as Zephyros begins speaking up, as he says to the entire group here,
I do not know the meaning of your assaults against my tower, but I can say for certain that I have done no harm. I am a researcher here, and I have chosen these heroes here to help restore the ordning. The shattering of the ordning is what has caused so many giants to go out on their own, striving to some form of glory to appease our god in hopes of elevating their class of giants to the epitome of gianthood.
all right. And as the dwarves kind of take in this information, they turn to each of you, as they say,
You all are supposed to be some sort of heroes, huh?
That's what we've been told. As Modus speaks up, like that's what we've been told. As far as I know.
We'll answer this, you, as Modus.
Yes.
they actually don't know your names, right? But as one of them points to you as you're talking as Modus, as they say,
Why are you heading to Bryn, Shander? Why are you in the north with this cloud giant?
We have to deliver very sad news to the next of kin to the fallen queen of. It's on the top of my head. Victor was the name of that town that we just left.
Nightstone.
The Queen of Nightstone has fallen, and we are going to go tell her oldest son that she has fallen. And not because of this cloud giant, but because of other giants that attacked Nightstone. And it was all in effect due to this basically shattering of the ordning. And we're gonna go tell him what's going on, and that's why we're heading north with myself and my friends here, as Modus points out, Felix and Victor, but not giving names.
Sweet. And as you say all of that, you hear that lead Schildorf that's kind of been like what you assume to be the leader of the group call out, Clarion! All right. And as he says that name, the dragon, huge silver dragon that was perched on top of the Eyrie, begins to descend. You see Zephyros kind of taken aback at the sight of this dragon. He is even kind of like stumbling it back, and you see him kind of like clutching his staff pretty tightly here. And as the dragon lands, in common, you all hear,
It seems we have gotten all of this wrong. We felled 2 other towers before, but it seems this one might be of good. You, small ones, continue on your journeys, but be warned. The giants of the north are not friendly, and they seek to crush the small folk.
right?
Got it.
At least the smaller folk will be fine, I assume.
As Modus gives like a half, like kind of like a aye captain, with like the 2 fingers on the brow
Sweet.
to the dragon.
And then you see one by one the dwarves kind of huddle together next to the claws of this silver dragon, who clutches them all. before taking off back into the skies. You see,
As
like,
Modus waves enthusiastically away, like waving by enthusiastically.
sweet, as they go further and further
Oh.
out of vision, right? A huge sigh of relief kind of washes over all of you. You can see that Zephyros maybe kind of like probably gained like 5 years of youth back from all the color kind of drained from his face from all of this kind of going on here. As he says
Well,
to
that was
all of you,
eventful.
Indeed, it was eventful. Well, now that that is done and settled, how about you all come in? We're only a few days away from your location. Sadly,
Yeah,
I'll have to position a few miles out from Bryn Shander, but I can get you pretty close.
Hey, as close as you can get us, I'll take it. All I know is my brain hurt. I need to take a nap. I had to do a lot of talking and a lot of thinking.
Well, for your heroics and being able to talk down those dwarves who seem to be hell-bent on whatever mission there was, I can bestow a few gifts upon you.
I think it was to kill you there.
so
But,
what you can recall
you know,
there, Asmodus, was that they were trying to disable his tower, preferably by damaging that navigation orb. But you do see him kind of vanish for a moment, kind of heading back upstairs. You hear like rummaging around there as he's kind of picking through some things. Anything you guys talk about amongst yourselves while Zephyros is gathering your rewards?
Real quick side note, thunderstorms getting a little bad where I'm at, and it already like kicked out my internet for a little bit earlier, and I've seen the lights flicker, so there's small chance that if I, dip out, like
You'll be right back.
either that or like it's, the power went out. So
Okay.
just a heads up.
Okay, I got you. Thank you for the heads up there, buddy.
No problem.
I'm going to look over to Asmodus, and I say, you should have put more hot honey than that on his wound. He deserved it.
I know they all had those differences, but if they would have just trusted us, which they should have, but they didn't, and I apologize that you two got hurt, but if you need anything, I got you. I got whatever you need. Felix, you're looking a little worse for wear. Do you need a little bit of the special rub?
You get.
Did you make sure to label your jars?
Yeah, I haven't labeled them yet. I usually pay Ruby for that one, and she forgot to label the ones that I took with me. But
Okay.
I'll take my chances and go to sleep.
And Zephyros kind of reappears floating down from the second floor there, with like two things in one of his huge hands there, as he like plucks it with his like thumb and index finger, and places a locket into your palm there, Felix, and what appears to be like a very small horn into your hand there, Asmodus, and then a little vial gets plopped into your hand there, Victor. Okay, so Felix, so you can add a lock of trickery to your inventory. Okay, lock of trickery.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
You, Asmodus, were given a horn of silent alarm. Right, horn of silent alarm. And you, Victor, were given a potion of gaseous form. All right, potion of gaseous form, lock of trickery, and a horn of silent alarm. Then after bestowing these gifts, Zephyros is very appreciative of you and your journey so far. You guys get the sense that you've probably formed like a pretty nice friendship amongst a cloud giant here, as the next couple of days of your journey passes by uneventfully. All right.
thank the gods for that.
Okay. And what does come into view as the tower kind of slowly grinds to a halt, you all feel the chilliness of the north as a huge settlement comes within view, and you can tell that you've reached Bryn Shander. Right? Zephyros parks his his flying castle here, a few miles out. So you guys are located here in the southwest side of this road. I'm going to say he begins to open up some stairs to descend downward. He's there at like the edge of his cloud with a big smile on his face.
Asmodeus is gonna look back and wave by and be like, "Hey, we'll be back here in a little while, buddy."
Gotcha. And he waves, and he begins to wave back, as he says, I believe in all of you. Good luck in restoring the ordering, and I hope you find who you came here to look for. All right?
Felix is gonna say, appreciate the ride, taxi man. Don't go too far.
I won't be too far, but I dare to say we will meet again, perhaps not soon. Okay.
That works for me.
And you all begin to make your descent. Victor, do you say anything? Say any parting goodbyes here to your cloud giant friend?
Just a quick wave.
This is kind of a little quick wave. All right, gotcha. So as you guys are approaching Bryn Shander here from like the southwest gate, what you see is a huge wall set in front of you. The town has what you can make out to be like a 15-foot high hinged wooden gate in front of you. Each has a large depiction of like a torch and a cross swords. Bryn Shander gates stand open. On top of the gate there and along the walls, you see guards patrolling with a one distinct individual with very bright red hair kind of standing right above the gate. And as you all approach, along with a couple other like commoners and refugees kind of coming in, she says,
"Ah, well met, travelers. Keep your fingers and extremities under wraps lest Ariel bite them off. Mind your tempers, and you'll be most welcome here. If you've brought goods to sell, the market lays straight ahead. You're craving a warm drink? May I recommend a drop of Firebeard's Fire Brandy, sold only at Kelvin's Comfort, located on your right as you enter the market square."
all right. So she's high above you guys.
Thank you.
Gates wide open.
Asmodeus is gonna go ahead and walk in and go straight for the market.
Same.
Gotcha, sweet. So as you kind of exit that gate there, you do notice that there's like an old couple kind of just past that gate, that's trying to push a cart that looks like it's probably become like stuck in the mud. The guards kind of are still situated on the walls. There's no specific like young individuals around there to help. You also see like children kind of playing like a game of ball off on like the eastern side of the wall there.
I will assist with the cart.
Yeah, Asmodeus was about to do the same thing. Assist.
Okay, gotcha.
The
Well, both you
older
guys
couple
go
with the
ahead
cart.
and roll go ahead and roll an athletics check here as you approach this old couple to try to help them kind of get their carts from underneath this mud.
Fuck, I don't do shit.
Can Felix also go over there?
Gotcha. So you, Felix, see Asmodeus and Victor kind of like helping, like struggling to kind of push this cart, like out of this mud. Go ahead and roll your athletics check here to see if you can be the.
Crazy idea, but instead of that, can I roll? Let me pull it up.
No, you're good.
Can I roll sleight of hand as I like pretend to kind of help with pushing the cart to see if I can see what is inside?
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. That'd be either more of a perception or investigation. It'd most likely be an investigation check, actually. So go ahead and roll that for me.
Fine, you go on ahead and go and enjoy your weekend.
Sweet. So as you like try to like you situate yourself like next to Asmodus and Victor here, you catch a peek inside their cart and you see just like vegetables and fruit and things of that nature, just produce. You can probably like you have like the intuition to understand that they're probably some type of farmers. But the cart is still stuck here.
Well, yeah, we close at 8, so.
I will, after taking, like, peeking my head, like, right above to see what's inside, I will, bring it back down into, like, a shoulder shove to try to get it moving.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead and give an
You
athletics.
said acrobatics for that?
Actually, it's going to be athletics.
Athletics.
Go ahead and do an athletics for everybody as you're all kind of trying to push this cart forward here. So one more athletics check from everybody.
Cool.
So 4 from Felix, 15 from Victor, okay. And a 21 from Asmodus, right? So almost on the count of a 3, you all kind of push the cart at the same time as it begins to roll. The old couple that are like steadily trying to assist you, but not by very much, are very thankful for what you did. As they hand each of you like a pretty ripe-looking green apple. As the old man says,
yeah.
Why, thank you, you young whippersnappers. Here, have an apple. It's delicious. I don't,
No problem. Anything to help out where we can, and Asmodus is going to take a bite of the apple as he's walking.
And it's a very sweet and tart apple. It's kind of surprising. But what you guys don't see is that red-haired lady on top of the wall was perhaps watching you, or others in the vicinity. But you do see that there's a stables over to your left along that main hall. And as you guys continue to progress down the street, I imagine, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm just going to make this easy for me. Which location here out of all the numbers are you interested in going? You know that B7 there is the actual market.
Yeah, so that's where Asmodus wants to go, is to the actual market, so B7.
Okay, gotcha.
Same.
Okay. Victor wants to go to the market. And what about you, Felix?
I will do the same, but can I don't know if you want me to just, like, passively, but, I want to keep an eye out for those special markings by any buildings or alleyways.
Don't worry. Already got you. So on that main street, you don't notice any of the markings that would establish the Black Network, right? But it is a very large city. You might have to talk to the right people potentially here, right? And you, as the rest of you guys kind of collect yourselves towards the market here. The marketplace is a roughly circular space in the center of town where local and foreign traders are like selling their wares. You see tents covered in wagons, provide some shelter against the cold wind, but not by much. In a few places, there's campfires with people huddled around them that crackle and smoke. You do see a bunch of kids like running around the market, like playing with balls and things of that nature. There's plenty of stalls. A lot of them have like food and produce, but plenty of people to talk to, including hagglers. What do you guys like to do?
I see somebody here that I would like to speak to.
Boop. Sweet. So as you approach a weathered-looking woman, you can probably tell that she's probably been like a beggar for a while. And as you approach Asmodus, she kind of slowly holds her hands up, like almost like in a cup. She says,
Do you have any coins to spare, mister?
Yes. Here's 3 gold.
Is there anything that you'd like to know? It seems you might be new here, visiting.
Do you know where the sheriff is?
The sheriff, you say? Yes.
Yes,
Sir Lord Nandar. Or Sheriff Nandar, rather.
Yes.
Or are you looking for his deputy?
Is it the deputy or the sheriff that we're looking for, Victor?
It is the sheriff?
Yes, I believe it's the sheriff, yes.
Okay. What the hell is that? Alright, gotcha. And so you see her kind of like racking her brain a little bit to try to fester out the location.
No, I need to get my adventure.
Just
he
even
is
just
going
pointing
to
in a
be-
general direction is helpful.
I gotcha. Give me a second here. Where the fuck is it? I'll point out the location in just a second here.
I will be Bryn. I have
Aha. Oh, that's weird. It looks like it didn't even save. That's why I couldn't fucking. Oh, ha 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 ha! It's because I'm not in the right fucking map. Got it. Silly me.
You silly goose.
So as you ask her where that location is, she points down towards the south to a very large building. As she points to like area Bravo 6 or B6 there.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, and as we're
Mhm.
walking away, I'm going to hand her a very small vial of the second sweetest honey that I conjured.
Sweet. And as you place it into her hands, you see a group of children begin to rush and swarm over around you, Asmodus. Victor, Felix, you see Asmodus kind of give her the coins, get the information and the honey. A whole bunch of kids, probably about like 10 or 15 of them, are rushing all at you guys. What do you guys do?
Hello, small children?
Okay. So Felix, you're like nowhere close to him. Asmodus?
Hello, small children, how are you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Victor?
I'm just subtly kind of keep an eye or a hand on my coin purse.
Gotcha.
I feel.
All right.
All I
Gotcha.
carry on me is honey, so
Sweet. Sweet.
grab for me.
So as you just hear like chittering and like laughter and stuff like that, I need perception checks. You, Victor, at advantage. You, as Modus, go ahead and roll a perception check at normal for me.
21.
Come on, something. Yes, 18.
Gotcha. So both of you guys notice that some of these kids are a bit more handy than others here. As you luckily managed to kind of hold on to your coin purse there, just as one of the kids, you kind of feel try to stick their hands right in there. Victor, you see that little grubby hand kind of reaching into yours, but you're able to do what? What do you do?
Just pop his hand.
No, I'm gonna take the apple I got from the couple and just put it in his hand.
Sweet. As you do that, another kid kind of topples right into that one, kind of ripping the apple from the other kid's hand.
Children will be children, am I right, Victor? As Modus walks far away from the children.
Gotcha. And you, Asmodus, kind of like bat away like the kids that are kind of grabbing at your coin purse there, linking up with Felix, who kind of ducked out ahead of time. Victor, the kids are fighting right now over this apple in front of you. It's starting to draw a crowd. You hear a smack, smack.
You know what,
Modus is gonna
Question.
Yeah, what's the question there, Felix? What's your question?
Go ahead.
That's how many.
Felix, what's your question?
I was gonna see if I can get into like the ready, like Corona, and except to have the apple in my hand and try to like lob it over this roof and just knock one of the kids in the head with it.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and roll a. Just go ahead and roll like whatever your to hit is for like your crossbow or your short bow or whatever.
Ooh, and I take.
So I should say. So
I'm gonna take steady.
Nat 20.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah. So go ahead and roll with advantage. I wonder if you can do that. Yeah, you can. So go ahead and make a dexterity check at advantage. And add your proficiency, which is +2 there. Okay.
So dex at advantage +2.
Yep. Exactly. And you can actually just click on your actual ability scores, whatnot. Because I don't really want it to... It's not necessarily acrobatics, but kind of is, but not really. Okay, sweet. So you managed to launch this apple in the general vicinity of where you remember Victor being. You, Victor, see this apple kind of come across this building. It's about to smack a kid in the back of the head. What do you do? It's going to smack the kid that's like wailing on the kid that's like...
Oh, never mind.
Right?
Never mind, I'm gonna let it happen.
Gotcha. And this apple smacks into the larger kid's head, kind of like knocking him over, giving the kid underneath him enough time to kind of get up and grab like the grimy, dirty apple that tried to get stolen from, and you see him just take off and whatnot. The other kid's like on the ground, kind of like holding its head, cursing.
I'm just gonna shake my head and start walking towards the others.
Gotcha, sweet. So as you all kind of reconvene and approach what you are able to make out is the town hall, you see that Bryn Shander's town hall looks like the largest building that borders the central square. You can tell that it's probably reserved for like community feasts and gatherings on like various holy days and other notable events. There's no guards outside of the doors, but the doors are closed.
Felix, you want to knock or you want me to knock?
I can knock.
Alright.
Gotcha. And
I'm gonna give it like, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and as you give it a solid knock there, you hear a voice come from behind on the door, like a subtle...
Come in, please.
I'm gonna open the door and gesture the other two in front of me.
Gotcha. And
thank you, Felix.
And as you all enter the town hall, you take a look around, and it's a very large, like building. Go ahead and roll perception checks. It'll be a group perception check here.
Perception.
Nat 20.
Sweet.
8.
Gotcha. So all of you guys, as you're kind of like looking around, what you're able to make out is that this hall is pretty large and can probably accommodate like refugees in times of emergencies. It's kind of like built up like that. In the back hall is a very short flight of stone steps that lead downward. You see that there's a sign kind of like over those steps that says Sheriff's Office. And otherwise, there's like a receptionist desk there with a human male, probably in his like 30s or 40s, sitting there doing paperwork. You also see a family that kind of like sits on like a bench over to like the left side. That seems like they're just waiting their turn to speak to this clerk here.
Can Felix go to the sheriff's office?
So as you approach, kind of heading towards the sheriff's office, the clerk kind of perks up a little bit as he says,
And who might you be here to see, please? And have you submitted the right documents?
We're here to talk to the daughter of Lady Valorosa from Nightstone, or
So you're
Nightwatch.
here to see the sheriff, Lord Nandar.
Yes.
I understand.
Yes.
But
With
he's a
very
very
important
business busy man. And have you filled out the required documents to make this appointment?
Can I see those, please?
Yes, certainly.
As holds out his hand.
Gotcha. So you see him kind of like duck below like the counter here, kind of he takes him it looks like he's rifling through some paperwork, but he's obviously distracted. What do you guys do?
I would like to sneak into the sheriff's office.
Okay, gotcha. Victor?
I will stand there just in case he does pop up before they can get in, just to kind of distract him.
Gotcha, Felix. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me, and Asmodus.
Why am I rolling a stealth? I'm not sneaking.
Okay, gotcha. So,
18.
so an 18, sweet. So you, Felix, managed to kind of like sneak behind the counter, and to head, straight down that opening. You kind of like turn your head like back to make sure you're not being like looked at, or caught. But you do catch like the glimpse of probably that 6-year-old child like on that bench with his family. You can see his eyes kind of go wide. What do you do? As a child's kind of looking at you as you kind of turn your head back. His eyes are
And
wide. What do you do? What do you do?
do I throw him a piece of candy?
What do you do?
I don't like candy.
Go ahead and roll an insight check for me. As you all still
Insight.
hear and see like the clerk kind of rifling through some paperwork there. He's just like, God damn it, where'd I put it? Sweet.
It's a 13.
So you, Felix, kind of see the facial expression on this kid, and it's the face of adoration.
That's a big word. Is that like determination?
No, like awe.
He adores you. He's like, oh my god, you're so awesome.
Can I
Kid thinks you're cool as
smile?
fuck.
I'm gonna smile and like put my finger over my lips in like a shushing kind of.
Gotcha.
manner.
And he mimics that same motion as you manage to kind of slip past and head down those stairs. And just as you Victor and Simona see Felix like exit with you, the clerk kind of like pops back up with a pretty like almost like a half-inch like thick of like documents as they kind of like he puts it right onto the counter here. As he kind of
is gonna ask for a quill and some ink.
Oh, and he passes you the quill and the ink. As he like the clerk leans into you, Asmodus, and he says,
Now, please print legibly, as any words that are not able to be read must be expunged, and the paperwork has to be redone.
Okay, I got you. Just tell me where to sign. Because he didn't mark anything as Modus holds out the paper for the documentation. Like there are no like X's or like highlights or anything. Like this is very disorganized. Come on now.
Well, of course, you must read through the documents, unless you're one of the individuals that doesn't know how to read. If that is
No,
the
I
case,
know how to
we offer
read. I know how to
surfaces.
read, but I know how to read. But and as Modus is gonna pull out one of his contracts for like business partners, and he's gonna show a very good explanation and an example of like what proper paperwork's supposed to look like with highlights and X's to where people are supposed to sign. Like this is what it looks like, damn it! And he's gonna start reading through this paperwork.
Oh, this is a very nice document indeed. What say your friend there? You, come here.
as the clerk
God.
points at you, Victor, and kind of like motions you closer there.
I walk up.
Yeah, as
I
Modus
need-
is looking
I-
through the paper and signing where he needs to sign and stuff like that.
Be sure that you also fill out the necessary paperworks to be established as as a what are you to him?
Oh, this is my work partner. This is my party member. As Modus looks at Victor in like a kind of like confused face.
Gotcha. And the clerk shoves a packet of paperwork into your clutches there, Victor. With a quill and ink pen kind of situated out in
Oh,
front.
he got you one. Okay.
I grab it and I start going through the paperwork.
Gotcha. Alright, so you guys are just going through this paperwork here.
Yeah, we're doing paperwork. Felix is sneaking around.
So you, Felix, kind of feel like the walls look like they're kind of like almost like frozen, very hard packed earth there. But as you finally get to the bottom of this cellar here, you see like a pretty large desk with with probably like 8 or 9 rows of jail cells. Only a few are occupied there, probably like only 2 or 3. But what situates behind it is a 5'8" bald human, like very dark skin, pale blue eyes. As he looks up to you, as he says,
Did Harris let you down here? Who are you? Did I forget about a potential appointment?
It is a matter that is quite urgent. They did let me downstairs only after I completed the very large stack of paperwork.
Okay, very well. Well, what is this emergency? Is the town under attack?
I need to speak to the sheriff.
Well, that would be I. I am Dalinar Nandar, Sheriff of Bryn Shander. How may I be of service? What is your emergency?
I have brought ill news, so I would sit down and prepare yourself.
It sounds most dire. What news do you bring there, traveler?
Your mother,
What about
the
my
Queen
mother?
of Nightstone, has passed, I am afraid.
But she's much too young to pass. She's only
There was-
55.
There was an attack.
An attack,
The
you
Giants.
say? By giants? I thought they were only
Yes.
rampaging here in the north. I wouldn't imagine they've gone so far south to Nightstone. Have you brought any evidence of this? How do I know that what you speak is true?
Inventory, let me look.
There's only a few people with the necessary
Sweet.
requirements.
Asmodus and Felix.
Didn't
have
she
you guys-
give someone a ring? I could have sworn she gave someone like a ring or a necklace or something.
Felix, you still have your Moon Touch sword there, right?
Yep. Just saw it.
Victor, Asmodus, I want you guys to roll either. What's something intelligence based here? As you guys are filling out that
Investigation.
paperwork. Yeah. Go ahead and roll either. Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation for me.
And I take history.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, either investigation or history as you're kind of going throughout that paperwork. Sweet. So 22 and 25. All right, gotcha. So you, Victor, and Asmodus are able to kind of fill out the paperwork perfectly here, dotting every I's and crossing every T's as you slam the paperwork back down onto the desk of the clerk, who thumbs through it like super fast in like maybe like a second or two, before giving you a pretty solid head nod and saying,
I will be able to schedule your appointment in approximately 3 months. Be sure to come back then. Thank you very much.
Well, luckily enough, God help. Asmodus is gonna walk out and try to find that bar that the lady was telling us about.
okay, the comfort's Kelvin's comfort is what you're looking for there. You Victor,
Yep.
get the news from this clerk as well.
You're a good guy. Don't kill him. Don't kill him. Don't kill him. Don't fucking kill him.
May I know what establishment you fine gentlemen will be staying at so I can send the appointment slip to that location? Or have you not found accommodations? If you haven't, I have recommendations.
We are going to go try and get accommodations. Right now, as Asmodus looks at a fake watch on his hand.
Well, if that's the case, allow me to make some recommendations here.
Right, and as she says that, what you guys are going to see that the clerk begins to mention that the area that you see as B14 as Geldenstag's Rest, which is one of the oldest establishments in the city that's owned by like a very old woman. And people typically go here if they're just looking to sleep and not really be bothered by anybody. She also points out that a more dangerous establishment is going to be the North Look, which is at B13 on like the northern side of town here. That is typically the establishment for mercenaries and adventurers, but the price tends to be a bit higher there. You also might find a bit more of the unsavory types there. He also mentions The last of like the three major inns in the city is at B11, which is just north of the market, and it's called the Hooked Knucklehead. And the proprietor of that establishment is very intimate of clients' affairs. That proprietor tends to ask a lot of questions, right? You, Felix, are still talking to Nandar here as you do what?
I would like to put my back down and bring out the moonlit sword.
So, and as you pull out the sword, you see kind of like first an expression of awe, and then anger, and then like going through like the 5 stages of grief here. As Dalinar instantly recognizes that blade, as he says,
Then it must be true. May I have your name?
It is Felix.
Felix, you say? She's mentioned to Felix before. She bestowed upon him a gift.
I'm going to lift up my. Okay. I'm going to do like one of those fancy athletic things where I stick my leg directly above my head and point at my boot.
Okay. Ah! You must be the Felix then. Did you perhaps come here with
Tis
others
I.
to bring news of my mother's passing, of her murder?
There were a couple of others with me, but they went to. How do I say this? They went to go find shelter. It is quite cold up here.
It is quite cold. But it is very sad news, and I must find time to grieve. My siblings. One is in the Tribor and the other in Golden Fields. Has news reached them yet, or do I need to send ravens?
It is best to send ravens. Since you are the oldest, we thought that you ought to know first.
I like your train of thought, and it was very forthcoming. I appreciate your sincerity. If you have time to burn a prayer at the...
let me look up the name of this fucking place. Okay, gotcha.
If you find time to burn a prayer for my mother, go to the House of the Triad. There you will find an assortment of other priests that may help bless her soul in the afterlife.
All right, so you know that B4 is the temple of Bryn Shander here, and Dalinar has asked you so kindly, Felix, to burn a prayer in the honor of his late mother. As he turns to you, Felix, one more time and says,
If you have traveled here all the way from Nightstone, then quite some time must have passed. You must have faced plenty of trials along that long, long journey.
It was a challenging and difficult journey, but it was your mother's dying wish that we carry on, and it was best to notify her children.
Whoa. A seasoned adventurer such as yourselves must be looking for further adventures. I might have something for you tomorrow. Come see me again and bring your friends. Tell the clerk at the front desk that paperwork would be unnecessary, for you are a friend of the Nandars.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
okay.
On the topic of jobs for the area, where might the shady individuals stay around here? I see you have a couple of them.
Well, if you're looking to hunt down criminals within Bryn Shander for us, that will be most appreciative. They tend to hobble around the north look. The north part of town, my guards have to patrol heavily. but perhaps you might hear other things in a couple of the other inns and taverns here. If you do capture any criminals, bring them straight here and we will lock them up most generously.
I will keep that in mind. As I kind of look at him and give him a head nod, and I'm going to let him be and take in all this information.
Gotcha. He gives a head nod back. As do you depart?
I will head to these cells and gonna kind of eye each one of them and see if any of them kind of stick out from the others, or if they're all just.
You see that you can make out instantly that these guys are petty criminals. Probably not associated with any established criminal network.
I'm going to look at them and I will give them a smirk and tell them it sucks to suck.
And a couple of them let out a couple of curses, as they say, like a combination of "you're a little bitch" and "you don't know shit." Before Dalinar manages to shut them all up with a few hearty shouts. You, Victor, and Asmodus kind of hear those shouts kind of coming down from that cellar area. Felix, do you do anything else?
I will head back to the other two.
Gotcha. So you all catch Felix kind of coming out of that door, that doorway there, and as you do, the clerk spins around and eyes you, Felix, as he says,
And how did you get back there? You didn't fill out the necessary paperwork. That is more paperwork for you to fill out. Come over here and fill this out right now.
I filled out the paperwork
Good luck,
3 months
Felix.
ago. What do you mean?
Good luck, Felix, as Asmodus walks out to go to one of the inns and get a room ready.
okay.
I suggest you talk to the sheriff to clear up this misunderstanding.
You see like the clerk kind of like stick their chin up at you as they kind of give a very solid head nod as they say, "You stay right there," and they disappear down the stairs. The other family's kind of like minding their own business, but that kid's still locking eyes with you, Felix.
Can I reach into my coin pouch and like flick him actually, I only have gold, don't I?
Yeah, don't worry. I only deal in gold because doing any other currency is fucking stupid and whatnot. But
Okay,
yes, you
I'll flick
certainly can.
a single gold at him.
Sweet. And surprisingly enough, he
smirk.
catches it with his dexterous fingers there as you see a very true smile cross his face as you come upon Victor and Asmodus here, right? So the rest of you, Asmodus, Victor, Felix, the place you're looking for is actually right across from the town hall. As you, Asmodus, see a very large sign that says Kelvin's Comfort, and that's B8 there for you.
Thank God, I need a drink. After all that paperwork, as Modus kind of signals Victor and Felix to come along.
Quick question for you, Rashad.
Yeah.
After that battle, we had a couple of days left till we got there. I'm assuming we
shit.
took a long rest.
No, you guys actually leveled up to 5, actually. So actually, now's actually a perfect
shit.
time because it's 5:22. Take let's reconvene on the 30 mark. So an 8-minute break. You guys go ahead and level up for me, please. During that time, I'm gonna go to the bathroom here. Okay.
Alrighty.
Honey.
Okay.
And
Alright,
then
you guys
it's
ready to continue?
iterations. The smallest vials are the super sweet honey, and I have a really small vial that I keep on my person that is the sweetest honey in the entire world.
Well, as you all approach, hopefully that sweetest honey in the world does you some favors here, because as you're approaching Kelvin's Comfort, it's pretty rowdy and boisterous. Like boisterous sounds ring out from like open windows of this tavern. As you peer inside these windows, you see numerous tables situated with stools that pack the main room. A low, ornate-looking bar lays in the back with a very hardy-looking dwarf passing drinks to patrons. So you guys are just outside the tavern. It's very loud and noisy. The show's on you.
So Asmodus is gonna pull out his tankard of sobriety and walk up to the bar and be like, "Can you fill this up, please?"
Okay, gotcha. So, and the dwarf looks at you, kind of gives you a solid nod, and as he asks you, what stuff do you want? Do you want the hardest we've got,
Yes,
or
please.
the lightest?
The hardest.
Are you sure?
The toughest shit in the world that you got.
This stuff will knock you on your ass.
10 gold says that it doesn't.
Oh, I'll take that bet, right? I'll tell you what, like, this will be on the house if you don't fall on your ass within 5 minutes of finishing.
As I'm holding out the tankard of sobriety.
Right. Victor, Felix, you guys all enter this stuff. Go ahead and roll a group perception check for me.
Perception.
Yeah,
Yum.
as the dwarf comes back relatively
19.
soon, with a huge jug that's kind of marked with like 5 X's
Ooh.
that say
Nat 20.
nice that, and on the top of those X's it's labeled Flamebeard's Fire Brandy, right? Sweet, nat 20 for Felix. That per 19 perception, sweet, and then 15, sweet. So as you all kind of are looking around, what you notice is that there's a group of commoners that look like they're playing dice at a table and looks like they're gambling. Like often one of the edges of the room there, you see like a bard that's like strumming along, kind of filling this whole tavern with some music. But he's like steadily trying to like ask people to come on up to help perform, or if you have a singing voice. But you, Felix, in particular, you're the only one to notice that there is a snake-like emblem carved against one of like the walls of this establishment, with like a couple of tables kind of like almost set to the side, but not really in a shaded area, with a couple of individuals sitting there. Let's just say they're not wearing like commoner's clothes or noblish like clothes. All right, so that's what you guys all see there. You, Asmodus, the dwarf in front of you, which he introduces himself as Ogden, finishes pouring you your drink there.
In the tankard, obviously, right?
Yep, in the tankard of
Okay.
sobriety.
Cool. Asmodus is gonna knock the whole thing back and stand and smile with his thumb up.
Sweet. And as you stand with his thumbs up, you can like despite the very long white beard on this dwarf, his eyes kind of go wide, almost like in disbelief, before kind of giving like a pretty hearty clap as he says, and I thought all of you elves were lightweights. Look at you go. But give it 5 minutes there, and I'll be calling the healers for you, guaranteed.
Still or nothing.
You're like, am I 10 gold or not? I mean, come on now.
He kind of, like I said, after 5 minutes, right? So it's only been a little bit of time as you just finished that drink, but the dwarf is eyeing you to make sure that you're not throwing up or doing anything else dastardly.
Yeah.
Victor, Felix, you just saw Asmodus kind of like down this jug. He's about to like kind of put the tankard back down as it's completely emptied. Victor, Felix, what do you guys do?
Felix would like to...
Mhm.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that Sir Barrica guy. He's the one that you see off in that like darkish looking corner there, Felix. And what you Felix are able to make out that snake-like emblem matches the same emblem on the note that Zolkin gave you from Nightstone.
Indeed. I would like to slowly kind of start making my way over there, not like direct path, but kind of like weaving through the tables to make it not as obvious that I'm headed in that direction.
Okay, gotcha. Being stealthy, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me. Victor, you see Felix kind of beginning to head off into like the darkerish corners of that room. What do you do, Victor?
I'm just gonna find a spot at the bar where I can kind of keep an eye on both of them, because I feel like one of them's gonna end up getting in trouble somehow.
All right, gotcha. Go ahead and roll the perception check for me there, Victor, as you're kind of keeping an eye onto the area here. You, as a couple of minutes still go by, and you, Asmodus, are still standing there kind of very stoic. Like the dwarf kind of begrudgingly kind of like pushes over 10 gold over to you as he says, "You must have had some type of trick. Why don't you get one of your pals over here to do the same thing?"
Okay. Victor, come on down.
Nope.
Okay.
As Modus is gonna slide over the tankard of sobriety to Victor. Here, drink out of this, buddy.
Okay. I just go ahead and knock it back.
Okay, so he fills it up with that same firebeard brandy, 5 X's across it, and you, Victor, take it down like a champ. And still with the same effect as his modus, you're perfectly fine. The dwarf kind of visibly, not necessarily shaken, but almost in disbelief, as he points to both of you, Victor and his modus, is just like, "Both of you are cheats. There ain't no way that a human and an elf can drink that much firebeard brandy."
Here, try this. As Modus slides over the small vial of sweet honey, just kind of eases mind. Try that.
Gotcha. So you slide over your honey, and the dwarf kind of eyes it mindfully as you, Felix, manage to kind of covertly kind of sneak up to the table of this other individual, another human male with like almost like a handlebar like mustache with mutton chops off in the corner there. As in a low gruff voice, you, Felix, here.
And who might you be, friend?
The name's Felix, and I'm going to take the letter, and I'm going to present it, like slide it onto the table in a way that only the small emblem is visible. You can't tell what's written in.
Is that so you like to show that off around here, do you? Why'd you approach me of all people? Why don't you go back to your friends there and enjoy your time? Or
I'm looking for some jobs.
Jobs, you say? Well, I might have one for you. For the right price.
How much is it costing?
Just cost a bit of information here. I see
Okay,
that we've got a little bit of an issue. You seem like the shady type. We've got an individual that the sheriff went ahead and brought in, looking to try to get him out of there. You think you can help out with that?
Shouldn't be too difficult of a job at all. What does he look like?
And he gives you like a description of like one of the 3 individuals that you did see down there. It's like one of like a bald like human, looks pretty like beefy, whole bunch of scars across his face. In fact, he's the one that said go shove a cactus up your ass. All right.
I suppose I can get this man out.
All right. And as you do that, he kind of leans in a bit, almost in like a hushed whisper, as he says,
Now, if you manage to accomplish this, then I know that you're probably truly one of us, but I don't talk to nobody that I don't know personally. Do you understand?
Understood.
You wouldn't be the Weevil, would you?
The what?
The Weevil.
The Weevil.
Do you go by that name?
I have not.
Go and roll an
I
insight.
go by many names.
sorry, go ahead and roll an insight check for me.
Insight. Oh, I get back to here. Insight. 13.
A 13, sweet. So what you're able to pick up, as he, like the way he's kind of in questioning, like, are you the Weevil? You get the feeling that he's perhaps looking for that individual. All right.
I am not the Weevil, but perhaps you are looking for him?
Nah, I'm not. It must have been the brandy. Don't mind my stutterings there. But
Nope. No problem. We must all take a moment to relax in these hard times.
come find me at the North Look once you've made your plans or helped my man escape. His name is Tav.
Alright.
Not TAV.
I'm going to stick the letter back in my back pocket. And same way I kind of got over there, I'm going to like bob and weave from that table and head over to the other two.
Okay, gotcha. So you managed to reconvene with Felix. Felix, you managed to reconvene with Asmodus and Victor. Just as you see Asmodus pass over a thing of honey over to the dwarf, who seems to be pointing angrily at the two of them. He grabs your honey, Asmodus, and kind of like pushes it back in your direction as like anger kind of like forms on this dwarf's face.
Just give it a taste.
Why don't you stop drinking out of that tankard there? Drink out of one of my mugs and see if this brandy doesn't put you on your ass. You elves are magical, aren't you? I bet you can cast any types of magic.
Ooh, I might end up on my ass for this, but...
What do you guys do?
Curiosity question.
Yeah, go ahead, send it. What's your curiosity question?
Theoretically, if I were to use one of his mugs, would it be possible for me to, carve a small hole in the bottom of it? To, let's say, drain the ale?
You give me 2
Out of his
seconds.
sight.
Give me 2 seconds. Oh, whatnot. I need you to say that again. I'm just responding to a work text here. Just a second, okay?
All good.
Okay, and then it looks like Sin just woke up.
Ding.
Okay, sweet. So that's just for Sin. He just woke up from a nap. Okay, sorry. So Felix, go ahead.
Would sleight of hand allow me to, carve a hole in the bottom of one of his mugs?
Yeah, certainly. This dwarf is watching you watching you three like a hawk. So go ahead and make a sleight of hand check. It's going to be at disadvantage unless Asmodus and Victor are able to kind of help figure something out.
Asmodus is taking a dollop of the honey and asking, "Hey, can I get a piece of bread?" I'll pay you for it, obviously.
A piece of bread?
Yeah. Like toasted bread.
You say that to the dwarf or to Felix?
Yeah, I'm asking the dwarf if he can give me a piece of toasted bread, and I'm going to put a small smear of this honey on it, and I'm going to offer the bread as compensation for his loss.
Go ahead and roll either persuasion at disadvantage because he is pretty angry at you as he thinks it's your cheat. Felix, go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check at disadvantage here.
Can I assist with the sleight of hand?
Are you proficient?
Yes.
Yep, go ahead and roll at normal there, Felix, for your sleight of hand. As Victor manages to kind of... Nice. Sweet.
23.
Sweet. As you Asmodus, continue to kind of
Can I cast guidance?
You sure can.
That's a D4, right?
Yep.
Got 13.
So 13, sweet. So you, Felix, as Victor and Asmodus are kind of like holding this dwarf in conversation, you are able to kind of like cut a hole in the tankard, like one of like the basic cups there, and you can tell that a majority of like that liquid will probably leak out pretty stealthily, but probably not all of it, but a good chunk of it might leak out. You, Asmodus, and you, Victor. There, Asmodus, as you're holding out that bread covered in honey there, towards that dwarf, and you cast guidance. The dwarf like eyes you because that's a verbal spell and whatnot. As he says, "Ah, see, I knew it. You did use some type of magic there, right?"
Not on the drink.
No, but
Not on the
guidance.
drink, I didn't
Yeah,
get it.
guidance is just is a spell, and you say not on the drink. He says, "Well, your friend over there. Let's see how he does without this special tankard here that you've got, eh? Then perhaps I'll try some of your tasty-looking bread there." As the dwarf begins to fill a mug in front of you, Felix, do you drink or do you do something else?
I'm going to slide it towards the edge of the counter to where just the hole is barely off the ledge of the counter.
Yeah.
As it like slowly leaks out, I'm going to like look down at it and back at him, and I'm like, this must be some strong stuff if you're making these kind of bets. As I watch it slowly drain out onto the floor.
Gotcha. Do you drink out of it when it's fully emptied, or if there's just like a little bit left?
I will wait till there's just a very little bit amount left, but I will act as if I am chugging it, make
Okay.
the gulping noises, and
Gotcha. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw at advantage for me.
con save advantage.
Yep, Constitution saving throw at advantage.
Roll.
A 15. Sweet. So you're
15?
so you, Felix, are able to knock this thing back. And there's maybe only like a centimeter or two of liquor still in there. But as it hits the back of your throat, it kind of instantly ignites on fire. Right? You kind of give maybe a small cough, but you are not knocked on your ass or intoxicated from this drink here. As
I
the
blow
dwarf
out a
sees
smoke
this-
ring.
You can, right? And as the dwarf looks at you, he looks back over at you, Victor, and you, Asmodeus, and kind of grumbles to himself. He picks up the jug, kind of looks at it, he tries to look at the expiration date, and kind of puts it back down. Just like, well, damn you all! And as he reaches out to
Can
take
I
the
hold my
bread from
hand
you,
out?
you can.
Yeah, as Asmodeus hands the bread, he put the sweetest honey, and if you want to check my inventory, Rashad, I hurry up, and while you were with Felix, I made the concoction of the Asmodeus's sweetest honey, because this is the sweetest honey that's on this bread, and it's just a small little dollop.
Sweet. So he takes it. Takes the bread off of you, and begins to munch on it. You can see he's starting to drool from the side of his mouth there as he takes that huge jug of firebeer brandy and begins to enter his storage area there. Perhaps even looking for a new jug there. All right. So now it's just you guys at that bar. There's still plenty of people within this tavern. You feel it because as you kind of look back in that same area, see that that individual who didn't give you his name has disappeared.
Asmodeus is gonna walk over to the bar and flip him a coin and ask him to play his best melody.
Over to one of to that bard there and whatnot.
Yes.
That's kind of situated, and you flip him a coin, and the bard begins to play a cheery tune. Just as individuals over at some of the other tables that are gambling right now, kind of rolling dice, they say, "Hey, that one there, that's a good tune. You three at the bar, why don't you come join us?"
Oh, you want to get to know some more people, Victor?
Why not?
Sweet. So as you get,
What time of the day is it right now?
it's probably approaching later in the evening, whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I mean, we
probably-
we have time. We can, play a few rounds of dice and get out of here.
Yeah, it's a bit later in the evening there. Gotcha. But as you guys approach this table here, there's three other individuals. As they lean in and they say, "Have you guys ever played Skull Bones?"
I don't think I have, as Asmodeus asks
Oh.
questioningly.
Well, it's an easy game, and just for a little buy-in of 10 gold apiece here, whatnot, winner takes all. It's a bit of a gambling game here, where so with this game, if you so choose to partake, right, you can choose any number of d6s to roll, right? And it's a total number. But if you roll a 1 on any of the d6s, then your your roll instantly loses. But it's whoever rolls the highest number, and you can choose any number of d6. So who would like
Felix, you're good at gambling games.
Who would like to gamble here?
Could I use sleight of hand to kind of manipulate the dice in my hand as I roll them?
To try to cheat? Certainly can.
Asmodus is like, hey, everybody will play as Asmodus pushes Felix to the front a little bit.
Okay, gotcha. Victor, the same individuals offer you this game a chance. Do you play?
You know what? I'll give it a shot because I got sleight of hand as well, so I can try to do something with it.
Try to cheat the game. Okay, gotcha. So you see, each of the 3 individuals place 10 gold each on top of the table there. So it's a 30 gold pot and whatnot. So it makes it a total of
Asmodus is
50.
gonna buy in for Victor and Felix for 20 gold.
Okay, gotcha. So Asmodus forks over the 20 gold there. So it's a total of 50 there. Winner takes all. You two choose however many dice that you roll. I'm only gonna roll once for the group of 3 there. And they are going to choose to roll that many dice. Okay.
That many? That many? I love that response.
So with both, Felix and Victor, you guys can roll your dice twice, okay? And I'll let you take either of the higher totals there. If one's like a losing hand, then obviously it'll be defaulted to the other. Cool?
Alright, you said D6, right?
Yep. However many d6 that you want, but if you get a 1 on the d6, then it fails.
Alright.
And let's see what these guys rolled. You see one of the commoners kind of slap their hands on the table as they rolled a 14 total, but got a 1. So they lose.
Can I go sleight of hand?
No, so just go ahead and roll your d6s, however many you want, but I'm going to have you do it twice.
I got you.
Alright.
If I'm not mistaken, this game requires 6 d6s.
No,
because it's
can
an
just be
old
any.
pirate game.
It can be any right now. Sweet. Oh, I actually can't see on this table. I need to go into the other one to see what your guys' makeup are. Cool. So Victor, on your 16. Ooh, good 16, Victor, on that roll. And your first roll there, Felix, that one would bust right there because you rolled a 1. 18 on your second roll, so 18 right now. Victor has it. And then, Felix, your second one bust for another 16 there. So, Victor, you're the only one to kind of come out on top as you gain 50 gold.
Asmodus is clapping in the background.
All right. You see
I'll
the 3.
slap another 10 on the table.
Sweet. And the other 3 slap 20 gold on the table apiece. So now it's like 20, 40, 60, 70. So it's 70 gold total on the table right now as the commoner says, you over there need to fork over another 10 to get into this one. 20 apiece. Double or nothing.
I'll go ahead and give him 10 of the 50, and then I'll use 20 of the 50 to get back in.
Okay, gotcha. So now it's 100 gold on the table there. Winner takes all. Right? As I'm going to roll for all 3 of these individuals again. This one, they're gonna get a little bit spicy with their rolls. Okay, they managed to roll a 17 with no 1s. Okay, sweet.
Are we rolling twice again, or?
Yep, you sure can. Sweet. Ooh, so that's a bust on that first roll there, Felix.
Another bust.
Ah, it's another bust. Hate to see it.
Come on, Victor.
And I also kind of like Felix head kind of go low a little bit there as he kind of took a chance.
Fuck.
Ooh, that's a bust on the first one.
Alright, come on. 24.
Nice! Sweet. So you, Victor, pocket 100 gold here as you scoop all of it from the table.
How many dice are you rolling?
6.
Yeah, he rolled 6. As the commoners kind of throw up their hands, it's just like, God damn it, Fred. We lost too much gold already.
Hey, it was a good game though, chaps. As Modus extends out a handshake for him.
All right, one of them like reaches out and shakes your hand. The other one's kind of like brushes shoulders as two of them, as they all begin to kind of depart, kind of heads kind of hung low. But
Alright, I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the 20 from the first round left over and the 100 from the new round and just split it 3 ways between the 3 of us, so 40 each.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
thank
So
you, sir.
each of you guys get 40 each as you manage to kind of swindle your way into some gold here. I'm gonna say it like timing. It's probably anywhere between like 8 o'clock now and whatnot. Probably very like much in the later of the evening. You see,
So where do you guys want to lay up for the night?
I am going to go explore.
Victor, anywhere you want to sleep tonight, buddy?
I got no preference.
Yeah, gotcha. And to recall the areas to sleep, B14, B11, and B13. B13 is where the adventurers, mercenaries, and like some shady people probably sleep. B11 is probably the more like hotelish like experience and stay, while B14 is more of like the lodge-like, very distant and away from the crowds.
So let's go for the hotel-ish, the more hotel-ish area, Victor, if you're okay with that. And I'll cover your room, buddy.
I'm pretty sure those guys just covered it for us.
More than likely, because I mean it helped us all out a lot. So yeah, we'll go to what was it? B13 was the more hotel-like one.
B11 is the more hotel-like one.
B11, okay, yeah, so
B13 is the shady-looking one.
Yeah, so B11 is where me and Victor will head off while while Felix does his exploring.
Okay, Felix, where would you like to go here as nighttime's kind of setting in?
I would like to go back to the, what was it called, the main hall?
The town hall, like the sheriff's office.
Yes.
Gotcha. Sweet. So you go there, and the doors to the office are locked. As in the place is cold. As in the place is closed.
Can I do a loop around to see if I can see any windows?
Yeah, so there's a couple of windows. As you kind of like lift up on them, they're all locked. There's also like a keyhole in the front door there. Would you like to try to picklock anything or anything like that?
Yes, I will. I'm assuming it's dark by now, so I don't really have to be too stealthy.
Gotcha. So go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check as you bust out your thieves' tools kit to try to break into the town hall here.
Skills. Come on, where's the rest of my skills? There we go. Sleight of hand.
Gotcha. 16, perfect. So as Modus Victor, to stay at the hotel, it's just going to cost you 5 gold for a single night there, a piece. Okay, so 10 gold total.
No, that sounds good.
As like the proprietor, she kind of like barrages you with different questions of like, where'd you come from? What's the new hairstyles? How'd you guys get those fancy looking boots? Things of that nature. Very annoying and peskying like, but you guys will be able to get settled into your rooms perfectly fine for the night. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
So Felix, so you manage to like click as the door slowly begins to swing open. You peer inside and it's completely dark. Aside for like a dull light coming out from like that back stairway looking area. There's like a subtle light coming up.
I have a curiosity question. Does fast hands allow me to automatically open a lock without making a check?
Let's see. Fastens, you can use a bonus action granted by your cunning action to make a sleight of hand check. Use your thieves' tools to disarm a trap or open a lock. Oh no, so that's more potentially if you're stepping on a trap or whatever, and it's your turn, you can like use your cunning action to like kind of like diffuse that trap before it goes off because you're like moving so fast.
Okay.
Gotcha. But the initial hallway is dark there, but you do see light in the back of the room there, kind of coming up from that stairway that leads down into that prison cellar. What do you
I have
do?
a question, Chandler.
I'm going to slowly. 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going to. Oh, it's all in here now. Interesting. I'm going to make my way, kind of hugging the wall towards where the light is.
Gotcha. Sweet. So you don't notice like with your passives, right? You don't see or hear anything in the immediate vicinity. But as you begin to kind of slowly make your way down the stairs, you do begin to hear the subtle sound of snoring. As you kind of like stealthily kind of peek one of the corners, you see that there's an orc, like a half orc guard there. At the desk that the sheriff was at, and he's like snoring. And you can even see like a snot bubble kind of like expanding and then collapsing, expanding and collapsing.
I'm going to make my way to the jail cells.
Okay, and you see the 3 prisoners are asleep.
I'm
roll
going
a
to
stealth
look
check for me.
Stealth check.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me. I think
go
with
back
your
on
boots, you have your boots, right?
Yep. They make no noise.
Okay, so they don't make any noise. So go ahead and roll your stealth check at advantage for me.
If it's already at advantage, does anything happen?
Oh, nope. So that's just kind of like a cue there. That's because of your boots, right? So you are trying to make steps to make no sound regardless of surrender. So you have advantage on dexterity stealth checks that rely on moving silently, so this would apply. So go ahead and roll your stealth at advantage, please.
23.
23. You're able to expertly kind of like get past like this snoring guard who seems to be even in a deeper slumber there as you come upon the cages, and you spot the individual Tav who's pretty sound asleep. What do you do?
Look on the ground for like a small pebble to throw at his head.
You find one and you knock him in the head. You kind of hear him kind of like stir a little bit, like, oh, what the hell? As he kind of eyes you, he says in like a hushed tone, "You, what do you want?"
I'm here to get you out.
Who sent you? But okay.
Do not worry as to who sent me. Just worry about getting out of here without making a noise.
He has the key. That's a pretty intricate lock. You're not gonna pick this one. You can try, but the guard has the keys.
I will attempt to pick the lock then.
Okay, you're gonna try to pick the lock? Gotcha. Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check for me.
Ooh.
Sweet. You like
12.
You hear there's a loud ping as one of your lockpicks snaps, kind of like putting metal against metal. As you like turn back to see like the half orc like guard there, his snot bubble kind of like pops a bit as he begins to stir a little bit. What do you do?
I am going to try to make my way kind of into the hallway that leads down and peek my head to see if he like wakes up.
Gotcha. Go ahead and make another stealth check at advantage for me here as you're trying to kind of like slink your way into the shadows and kind of like out of sight. 19. Sweet. So you're able to move silently as you begin to hear the guard begin to snore again.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to make my way to him to try to grab the key for the cell.
And you see the keys kind of dangling right on his side. I want you to go to make another sleight of hand check for me. See if you're able to expertly kind of remove the keys from his body without waking him.
Yeah, I should have really grabbed advantage for that one too, huh?
You're being sneaky.
Oh, 13.
So you think that you're about to slip up, but then you manage to unhook the keys from his belt. And you have them now. He's still asleep.
Perfect. I'm going to make my way over to the jail cell.
Yep, and then
After,
yeah, click. The cell
I'm going
doors
to-
pop right open.
I'm going to motion for him to follow me back up the stairs and out the door as quietly as possible.
Gotcha, and he follows behind silently. This one I'm gonna have you roll at normal because he's trying to like kind of mimic your steps here. So it's gonna like negate the advantage here. So this is gonna be your last sleight of hand check for me.
Oh, sleight of hand or stealth?
Sorry, stealth.
Okay, 19.
19. Nice. So you are able to help this this lumbering brawler here out of the jail cell through the rest of the town hall. And as you make an exit, you see him kind of give you a very solid head nod, a pat on the back as he says, "Come look for me at the North Look. You've done me a great service here. What's your name?"
Name's Felix.
Thank you, Felix, for getting me out of
If
there.
anyone is looking for some jobs that need to be done, I will be in town for a little while.
Definitely. I'll put your name out there, bud. As he begins to kind of slink off and behind like an alley, and disappears from your view.
Alright, they said to find them in the North Gate?
Yep, B13, right there.
Okay.
You know that your compatriots are situated in the hotel at B11.
I'm assuming it's pretty fucking late at this point, so
It
I'm
is.
gonna head to B11
Okay.
and link up with them.
Gotcha. And just as like you, Victor, and Asmodus are kind of like coming back down for like a midnight snack or whatever, some tea. You catch Felix kind of enter this establishment. So now you guys are all together. Moments before you guys will take another long rest, and then I'll present the morning. So as you all coalesce, anything you guys do or talk about before you settle in for the night?
So Asmodus is gonna lean over to Felix in his ear and go, "What'd you do?"
I just went and explored, just like I said I was.
Huh?
Mhm.
I know
Gotcha.
you're lying, Felix. It's okay. You can tell me the
Contested
truth.
checks. Victor,
Contested checks.
Asmodus, go ahead and roll insight checks. Felix, go ahead and roll a deception for me.
Nat 20.
Okay. Victor, Victor, what are you doing as you hear like Asmodus and Felix? Are you trying to discern Felix's last location?
No, I'm pretty sure if he wants us to know, he'll let us know. So I'm just
Gotcha.
gonna sit there and hear him.
Sweet. So Asmodus, like, despite your inclinations, you're not able to pick up on Felix's like facial expressions or anything like that right now.
I know he's lying. It's okay. I have a sixth sense about these things, and I feel like it's just gonna come back to bite us in the butt. But it's okay. I'm gonna take my snack and go back to my room now.
Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
gonna
So,
dust off my hands.
so you all settle in for the night, okay? And you sleep restfully, after your new gained levels, all right? And as morning approaches here, as like the sun kind of enters all of your individual rooms here, it's another dreadfully cold day in Icewind Dale. As you kind of bundle up underneath some like very warm furs on your bed, you kind of go to the windows, each of you, and you see that Bryn Shander's Market Square is still bustling, with like traders, and things of that nature.
We need thicker jackets.
Everywhere across this town, you see people are trudging through like these snow-covered streets as it probably snowed maybe 2 or 3 inches overnight here. In the far distance, you see the town's outer walls there with like movements of which you can make out to be guards, right? However, in mere moments, the mood of the town changes abruptly. Something is amiss. You see those dots on those walls moving back hurriedly as pedestrians are seen to be vacating the square with great haste, disappearing into their hovels.
Well,
What do you
when
guys
people are
do?
running away, we walk forward as Asmodeus goes downstairs and walks outside to
Sweet,
see
so-
what's going on.
Sweet. All right, go and do a group perception check as all of you guys kind of like make your way towards the market, kind of like surveying the area to see what's going on.
Fuck.
That's all right. It's
That's too early for me.
It's a group check. It's a group check.
It's too early for me.
And that's 16. Okay, I gotcha. So as Modus kind of like points out to both of you two, you see like a whole squad of spear-toting guards with grim faces that moving with a purpose towards the southwest gate, the same gate you guys came in. So you see a whole bunch of guards going down this street here, kind of towards that southwest gate.
We'll see what we can do to assist. Am I right, friends? As Asmodeus starts following the guard towards the gate.
Gotcha. What do you, Felix, Victor, what do you guys do?
I follow along. This will be interesting.
All right,
I'll
gotcha.
kind of follow from a little bit further behind, keep my distance.
Okay, gotcha. So as you begin to get closer towards that southwest gate, you all begin to hear the So as you progress towards the southwest gate, you hear in a very booming voice from the direction as it calls out.
Surrender, artist Simba, or you will die.
You see guards hurrying along the walls, and that boisterous, booming voice kind of echoes throughout that entire southwest section, but you're not able to make out what or who is speaking.
Well,
Surrender, artist Simba, or you will die.
You see,
is there a way up that wall to where I can get to where that lady greeted us at? Because I'm assuming she's still there.
Yep. So you, Asmodeus, are the first to see that flame red hair is still up there. Seems to be saying something to something outside of the walls. You do see that there are like stairs and stuff like that go onto the walls to like the left and to the right over there.
Okay. Asmodeus is gonna walk up and approach very politely and go.
One of the
What can I
guards
do to
stops
help,
you.
mainly?
One of the guards stops you as you're like just about to get up the stairs there. Felix, Victor, what do you do as you see Asmodeus kind of getting on top of these walls?
I am going to kind of snake through these alleys and hide like right behind here and just keep an eye on what's going on.
Okay, gotcha. And Victor?
I'm gonna follow after Asmodeus and give him backup if he needs it.
Gotcha. So as you, Victor, kind of get on top of those walls, for that guard kind of like stops you as well. What you make out is to be a huge frost giant that's situating themselves outside of the city. Right? And you guys are able to make out that that red-haired individual is speaking giant to this individual. Does anybody speak giant?
I speak ogre.
Has to be giant. So you guys aren't able to make out the conversation she's trying to convey with this individual, but you can probably tell that she's trying to either plead or bargain something. As a bunch of the guards are kind of hurrying around, they says, "We don't know an artist, Simber. Who the hell is that asshole? We must scour the city for him." As the guards one of the guards looks to you, Asmodeus, and Victor, and says, "You guys can't come up here."
We're trying to see what we can do to help.
Can't you see
trying
it's
to
a
be
giant?
kind.
It's a frost giant. Unless you can down this fellow, it means to crush our city. Apparently, there's others surrounding the area. Right? And
They're in the walls.
and as the guard does say that, what you guys do spot kind of in the peripheries, like much further along the walls, are two other giants. Right? Just as the one in the center here outside the gate shouts,
We have your city surrounded, and we will Throw rocks into it and flatten it to the ground unless you surrender Artis Sember. Now bring him out. Now.
All right. The guard looks at both of you as he says with a trembling voice, "You guys want to know this artist Simber, would you?"
Can I roll a history check to see that? See
You
if I
would
do?
not know. You would not know the individual. Whatnot. Felix, you see like Asmodus and Victor still up on that wall over there. Anything that you do, or you're just staying put?
I will come up and I will attempt to scream at the top of my lungs so that the giant can hear me. What does this man look like?
Okay, gotcha. So you shout, "What does this man look like?" But you don't hear an immediate reply. But you do see, Felix, a small crowd beginning to kind of like come up from behind, and in the center of this small crowd is an individual that seems to be getting kind of like pushed forward. Almost like a mob's like pushing this individual forward.
Well, I think we found our man.
Sweet. And as you look
As I kind of point and let the other two know.
Okay. Bum, bum, dum, bum, bum. So this is what you see. I'm just gonna represent the mob, just being those two individuals there. That's perfectly fine. As an individual in like in a winter hat and whatnot, like very dark green eyes, solemn expression on his face. He looks very scared. As he's continuing to get pushed forward to this mob. Some of the mobs are like, "Oh, we found him! He's a Simber, this one here." As you hear in like a frightened voice, "No, that is not me, it's my father, he's not here. My name is Sirak, I don't know where he is, please." What do you guys do? Asmodus, Victor, you guys hear this? Felix, you're the closest.
I'm just gonna kind of jump by this wall and observe and see what's gonna happen. I'm intrigued.
Okay, gotcha. And as the mob pushes this guy closer, you see that the female on top kind of turns back to the commoners below. She kind of speaks to them and she says, "And what is the meaning of this? If this is not Artis, then we will not satisfy the Frost Giant's desire." Right. Then the mob doesn't necessarily respond, but instead kind of push this individual down towards the ground, kind of like pointing like pitchforks at him and things of that nature. There's a couple of them say, "Toss him out, feed him to the Frost Giant. Perhaps they'll leave us alone."
I don't think so, but I just need to ask the lady up there one quick question, and I'll get out of your hair.
And what question might you have to ask her?
Just if she knows who this person is and where was the last time he was seen, so we can go try and find him and bring him here.
Okay. Okay, so now, as you say that, the guard kind of like raises like an eyebrow, before posting another guard and goes to kind of convey that message to Brighthelm there. Just as Sirak here is able to kind of like get up, kind of dust himself off, almost kind of resigning himself to his fate, as he says, "Well, if anybody's going to be a hero to save this town, it might as well be me. I don't know what this Frost Giant wants or needs, but if it'll spare this city, then I will gladly sacrifice myself for it." Okay. As he begins to head towards the wall. Or the doors, rather. The guard like quickly comes back throughout all of this. As Sirak is kind of approaching these things here. The guard approaches you, Asmodus and Victor, as they say, "She's not sure who this artist is, but if this individual wants to give himself up to appease this Frost Giant, It looks like she's going to allow it. It seems like she's had a change of heart.
Oh,
But we have enough guards here. We might be able to take him. It seems like this one is the leader of this contingent. If he falls, then they all will retreat, as is the Frost Giant's way.
Not usually how it works in some cases, because one of them could just be second in command, and if you cut off the head of one snake, one will just take its place.
Gotcha.
As it would be.
The doors open as Sirach kind of like goes forward. And as he does, the Frost Giant like sweeps out with a big hand, scooping him up from the ground, kind of like holding him upright, kind of putting him like close to his face, like and mutters something that you guys are unable to understand, right? As the Frost Giant finishes speaking, and kind of like puts Sirach down by his arms. As he continues
To say the Frost Giant says, "This is the son of Ortis. We need his father. Bring him here, or we will destroy you."
what do you guys do?
Where the hell is this man's father?
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. So, I'm going to look at the guards and go, can you ask Miss Brighthelm if she knows of anybody who might know this individual?
I gotcha. And as you do that, the guard like hurriedly turns to go. And what you both see is like the Frost Giant reaches for one of his like a horn on his side. Just as the guard is in mid conversation with Brighthelm, you hear a roar as the Frost Giant blows his mammoth's tusk horn, signaling something to happen. All right.
Well, our
That's probably not good.
Sweet. And in moments, what you guys see, you more hear like the ground breaking in certain areas before a whoosh sound is heard as a huge boulder tumbles into the city with a loud crash, kind of and stumbles, and you see like bits of debris. Hear screams ring out from behind you. As what you guys can see is that a lot of like multiple Frost Giants are beginning to hurl rocks into the city here. And as they hit and they ring out, Brighthelm yells out, "To arms, guard! To arms! Protect the citizens and fell these giants! We cannot let them harm the city!" All right. And from here, what you guys see all at the same time is that hundreds of guards that are manning these walls kind of all span out, easily occupying the rest of these Frost Giants here, like towards like around the edges of the city. So the choice is up to you guys. Where do you guys want to situate yourselves, and what situation do you want to handle? You have this immediate situation in front of you, or you can go to a different location kind of around the outskirts of here or back into the city. What do you guys choose to do?
Take out the head.
Yeah, might as well cut off the head.
While there is still a city, I would like to go to the north gate, where the other two are hopefully still awaiting me.
There will not be enough time for you to be able to kind of split out of there, like to be able to get all the way there, because it's all the way across town, despite all this other stuff going on.
That is fair.
I'm gonna have everybody roll for initiative.
Okay. I would like to position myself on top of one of the roofs.
More so it'd probably be one of the walls here, right? Because the roofs are like not tall enough to kind of like see over the roof there.
Oh, okay.
Do you situate
Just
yourselves on the
flood us.
opposite side of Asmodeus and Victor there, or want to just put you're gonna put yourself where you will on top of this wall, Felix? Cool. Frost Giant rolled
I gotta figure out where I am. There I am. I'm going to. Oh. I'm gonna position myself kinda over here on the other side of the guards.
Okay, gotcha. So the order of combat is going to be Asmodeus with Felix on deck, the Frost Giant, and then Victor. Okay. Let me just position my camera a little bit better here, as you guys are now facing off against a Frost Giant that has another human in hand. As you hear the crashing of boulders behind you, Asmodeus, it's your go. Felix, you're on deck.
Take a shot at it with the longbow.
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll to attack.
Fucking 13.
A 13 misses. It kind of, your arrow kind of punches into the patchwork armor and kind of just gets stuck there without doing any damage.
Cool. I don't know if I have anything else. I guess that's everything I can do, so I'm gonna just be chilling right here.
Okay, gotcha. Felix, it's your go. Enemy on
this
deck.
little castle.
Alright, so I'm going to kind of get down in a ready position with my longbow as I take steady aim.
Okay.
And let's roll with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
17 to hit?
17 hits. Roll for damage. Take 11 points. Nice. Good damage there. And plus your sneak attack. As
Sneak
you
attack,
as you
which is-
manage to find a gap in his armor, piercing him, drawing blood from him, as he lets out an angry feral growl. Anything else that you do?
11, 14. I will. Whenever an attacker that you see hits you, you can use your reaction to half. I can take the dodge cunning action, correct? So I can ready myself for the dodge?
You can. So attacks will come at
Yep.
you at disadvantage.
Yep.
Okay,
I'll
gotcha.
ready myself to dodge any boulders or giant fists.
Gotcha. And right now, since you guys are situated up on that wall, I'm gonna see you all have 3/4 cover, so it's +5 to your AC right now. Okay. If anything were to
Alright.
come at you. It's the Frost Giant's turn here. Victor, you're on deck. You're going to see the Frost Giant kind of like reach down below, kind of picking up like one of these like carts or abandoned wagons here on the side. And the arrow came from your direction, Felix, so it's going to hurl this cart at you for a throw attack here, which is going to be for a 23 +5 to your AC. Your AC's at 25 right now, so the cart's going to hit the battlements in front of you before sending splinters kind of all over your location. He's actually attacking at disadvantage because of the dodge. So one more time. Well, thank fucking God we're gonna go with that first one because you rolled a natty on the second one there. So it's still a 23 to hit as this cart slams into these battlements, peppering you for 30 points of bludgeoning damage here. Right, all from this cart that slams, and that ends the Frost Giant's turn there. As you
30 points of damage.
As you, Victor, see Felix kind of bleeding profusely. It's your go, Victor, with guards on deck.
Alright, that would probably have been a good time to use on God.
Does he get it at level 5? I don't think so.
Oh, yes, I can use my reaction to half the attack's damage on you.
Oh, you do have it.
That would have been a perfect time for that. That was a lot of damage.
Oh, I gotta refresh your shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I think you do get that at level 5, yeah? Alright, hell yeah. So you take 15
Yep.
points of bludgeoning damage. So go ahead and just heal yourself for 15 there, okay?
Alright. Still alive.
Thank you. Good call there, Victor, on using that ability there. Good job.
Alright, I am going to take my arcane firearm and cast firebolt at the frost giant.
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll to attack for me as a bolt of fire kind of shoots out from your firearms.
Fuck, that doesn't do shit.
A 10 kind of hits that patchwork armor kind of before like simmering off. No damage.
Alright. And I have no bonus actions because I forgot to bring out my fucking cannon.
I mean, do you want to
Okay.
retcon and just summon your Eldritch Cannon instead?
Nah, I already
totally
did
cool with that.
the attack, so...
Okay, gotcha.
Nah,
No
I already
bonus
did the
action?
attack. I'm gonna stick with it, yeah.
All right, I gotcha. No worries. So the guards turn. Asmodeus, you're on deck over here. You're going to see the guards. They're going to make like kind of loose short bows at this guy here. This is only 2, so 14, which misses, and another 14. So these arrows are kind of just hitting off of the giant's pretty hard skin there. Asmodeus, it's your go with Felix on deck. You hear Brighthelm say, "Aim for his neck! Down this one here!" Asmodeus, it's your go. Felix, you're on deck.
Okay, cool. I'm going to shoot where she asked me to shoot. Around its neck area.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead
And-
and roll to attack. Any spells that you
well-
cast or anything like that?
I think the only spells that I have kind of like, the one spell that I do have, which is Thunderwave, is only on myself, and it's a 15 cube.
Yeah, I
15
gotcha.
foot cube, like, around my area.
I gotcha.
But the 12 misses.
So yeah, 12 misses as your arrow tries to aim for its neck, but instead it's kind of like bounces off of his shoulder. As the frost giant
wind's
locks
different
eyes
here.
with you in the tower. Does that end your turn, Asmodeus?
Let me go ahead and Starlight step behind some more thicker cover, like any thicker cover that's like around me to give me kind of like I guess a more full cover.
You're already at 3/4 cover, but if you wanted, you know what? If you use your starlight step to try to get inside, like somewhere safe and whatnot, sure. So now you've got full cover if you're kind of tucked inside.
Yeah.
But you're tucked inside a building, okay? That this guy is able to hurl rocks and stuff like that. So something might come crashing down on top of you.
Yeah, no, I mean that's fine. It's a risk that
Okay.
I'm willing to take to be
Gotcha.
most likely gonna have to get hit.
All right, Felix, it's your go. With enemy on deck.
Okay. To reposition or to attack?
You could reposition and attack.
I could, but I wouldn't have advantage. And I wouldn't get sneak attack damage.
Roll a. Need to grab a D4.
Are there... Is the... Curiosity question. Is the... that dude's son, is he within 5 feet of that giant?
He is not an ally. As you guys did not meet him before in the city to become friends.
You don't need to...
Uh-oh.
If other is within... So...
Okay, that's one.
It's an ally, question mark? It's just an enemy of my enemy.
What's up? So if you attack without advantage, you will not have sneak attack because your sneak attack will not go off because of Sirach there. You have to have like an
Okay.
ally within 5 feet of him. He is not an ally.
Okay. I will once again ready my bow and crouch down, pull back as hard as I can on it, and let
What's
it
that
loose
arrow?
towards its neck.
All right, gotcha. Go ahead and attack at advantage for me. 13. This one hits against
Ooh.
its solid hide, bounces right off.
So the dodge.
Yep, cutting action dodge.
Yep. That
Gotcha. Gotcha. So just as that arrow flings off of this frost giant's arm, you're going to see him begin to rush towards that the doors to the city and kind of hit hard into it. The door seems to cave in a bit, cracking heavily. You suspect that, and then in a moment he takes out his great axe on his second attack to hit that door for a 12. Sweet. Boom, that hits. 12 hits for 26. So the whole door to the southwest side comes shattering down, revealing a passageway for this frost giant that just gets behind here. You hear commoners and other citizens begin screaming and running towards the other direction. He still has Surik in hand here. That's all of his go. Victor, it's your go with guards on deck.
Okay, I'm gonna create my cannon.
Okay, boom. You summoned your Eldritch Cannon.
It's gonna be the Force Ballista.
Force Ballista, gotcha.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll your attack.
Alright.
Are you just...
Fucking hell!
Ooh, so force energy, you kind of like, you see his beard kind of go with the wind as a Force Ballista just kind of misses there. Let's see.
And yeah, that's gonna be the end of my turn.
Okay, gotcha. The guards are going to go ahead and launch their bows. Boom, one's for a 16 as a bunch of arrows pelt his patchwork and other arrows completely miss. As Modus, it's your go with Felix on deck. Number 4.
So
it's
with the Horn of Silent Alarm, correct? What does it entail? Like when I blow it, does
no
like,
when you
it's-
blow it, if you're like connected with somebody or whatever and whatnot, they'll be able to hear it and whatnot. So it's like an alert system rather, but you haven't really done anything with it, so it's
okay.
not really of use in this particular situation.
Damn, I thought I was gonna. And stopped at the guard shack before I came. Fuck. I'm gonna look out this window and cast Fairy Fire near the giant.
Okay, hell yeah, sweet. It's a dex save. He's got 9 and -1 to dex. God damn, he rolled an 18 though. Fuck me. Okay, so he's
Holy
going.
crap.
Yeah, I know. I rolled a natural 19.
-1.
So he's going to be able to resist the effects of your fairy fire there. Sirak, I'm gonna roll for him. Actually, he's a normal human. He rolled a 16, and I think that passes your thing. So he's not affected either.
12.
Spells, yeah, it's 12. Okay, gotcha. So the frosty giant kind of shakes off like the fairy fire that starts to kind of like go over him. You see him begin to turn towards the location towards the south there. Imagine that's all you do.
Yeah, damn. I wish I had something else, but yeah, no, that's everything I can
Gotcha. Felix, it's your go with enemy on deck.
Alright. Let's roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack roll or saving throw. Okay, is it possible for me to use the scroll I have? The scroll of Bane, I think it was?
Sure can. Yeah, so just go ahead and look up the spell Bane, which I got you here. Yep, so up to 3 creatures of your choice you can see within range. Make charisma saving throws whenever a target. Sweet. So the spell save for that on a spell scroll would be... It's a first level spell, right? That's what Bane is? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a first level spell. So spell save DC is going to be 13, so he's got to make a DC 13 Boom, boom.
Charisma.
Charisma save. DC 13 charisma save. Frost Giant. He's got a +4 to charisma on his save.
Damn.
And he saves for an 18. Oh, no. So he's not going to be affected by Bane. As once again, he seems to kind of like shrug off all these magical effects, becoming even more irritated.
Well, that was my action, so... let me... He's kind of through the gate at this point, so, I'm going to... Can I hop onto one of the roofs from the wall?
Oh, certainly can. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check to make sure that you're able to kind of get there. Get there safely.
I get back over there.
Okay, 13. Yep. So you're
13?
able to hop. Yep, you're able to hop over to like the next roof over here, still giving you a pretty clear field of view on this giant. But you'll have probably half cover here instead of 3/4 cover from that wall. So now you have +2
Maybe
to
not
your
the smart
AC.
decision. But we will roll with it. So yeah, I'm gonna kinda...
Situate yourself right there, like a
Yeah.
cunning action dodge.
Yeah, and I'm going to shout at the guards. Did they not train you to shoot something with those arrows and not just fling them at something?
Gotcha. And you see those guards kind of still like knocking arrows and trying to loose them at the frost giant. At that same time, as more arrows are just hitting off of this guy, you're going to see him kind of pick up like a whole huge handful of dirt and rocks. He's going to fling it into your direction there, Victor, for one of his attacks, where it's going to be for a 13. Which you managed to just dodge out of the way there, so you're not affected. So that's his.
Just dodge.
attack.
AC 25.
Victor, it's your go. Guards on deck, and then Asmodus.
Alright, I'm gonna try hitting the firebolt.
Okay.
Come on. 18.
18 hits.
Alright, so it's gonna be the 2d10. So that's gonna be 10 plus the 1d8. So that's gonna be 13.
13, sweet. As your firebolt kind of singes his arm, kind of loosening his grip on Sirak there.
And then I'm gonna attack with the Eldritch Cannon
Gotcha.
for 20.
And 20? Nice. Yep, of course that hits. Roll for damage.
For a
Sweet.
17.
17 points of damage. Good damage. And as that force it hits him in the chest, kind of drawing blood, and you can tell that he's almost bloodied here.
And push back of 15 feet.
Is it 15 or 5? Pretty sure it's 5.
No, it's hold on a second. Let me go to
Sweet. The guards are going to
action.
attack. Yep, nat 1 for that
Force
attack.
Ballista.
And then a 22.
Oh yeah, that's its movement. Yeah, so
Sweet.
it goes up to 5 feet.
Gotcha.
Or push up is 5 feet.
Gotcha. So he gets pushed back, kind of falling into one of the buildings over there, as the guards are going to use this opportunity to be able to pelt him with arrows, dealing some damage there. As Modus, it's your go. You see the frost giant kind of stumbling backwards from the force ballista hit. Felix, you're on deck.
Didn't I go after the guards?
What?
Didn't I go after the guards?
Yes, it's your go. They already went.
Okay. I was
Felix
about
on
to
deck.
say- Okay, I was about to say. I didn't go yet.
Mhm.
I haven't gone yet. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like it went the
Yeah,
guards
I know.
and
It's,
then me,
it's,
right?
it's your go right now. Go ahead.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see. So he's currently walking away from us. Let's see. How far away is this group from me? Just out of range. Shit. Fuck it. I'm gonna just try to hit him one more time with the longbow.
Gotcha. Go ahead and make your attack.
Fucking finally,
Yep,
24
hits. Yep, roll for damage as the giant's kind of like falling over onto this building. You manage to pierce his hide with your arrow for.
Yep. Let me roll the damage on this, and it's gonna be a hail of thorns on top of it. That's 7, and I need him to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, dex save from the frost giant, from the hail of thorns. He fails with a 5, so he takes a little bit of extra damage there as your arrow that connects kind of explodes in a burst of bees beginning to sting him.
Yep.
Is that end your turn?
Yeah. I want to fucking get a little bit closer, but I don't want to get too close where it's like he'll be able to hit me. So I want to just chill next to Brimhelm.
Okay, gotcha. You see her still kind of like directing where these guards are supposed to be attacking. Felix, it's your go with enemy on deck.
Alright. On my newfound half cover, shall kneel on the roof and take steady aim, and I'm going to attempt to hit him in the eye.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead and roll to attack.
Let's see here.
13 misses.
Nothing.
Right, boom, just kind of like skids right off of his forehead before the rest of the arrow just kind of falls to the ground.
I can't move. Yeah, I'll just use
put.
dodge.
Sweet dodge, sweet. Frost Giant's turn here. He's going to be able to. He's going to stand up and whatnot from that crushed building, pick up another like armful of dirt and debris, and fling it into your direction as Modus here with your 3/4 cover for a 27 to hit. So in the general direction, you and Brighthelm get pelted with a bunch of debris, sending a couple of the guards in that same area toppling over the walls for 27 points of bludgeoning damage. As a couple of their guards scream out in pain and die. Brighthelm kind of taking a hard hit against the head from a debris, almost knocking her unconscious. Right. As the Frost Giant begins to wave Sirak in the air as he screams for somebody to help him. Victor, it's your go. As you see like 3 or 4 guards fall off of the battlements in front of you. What do you do?
I am going to... Hold on a second. I'm gonna... Hold on a second. They're falling off the battlements, right?
Oh yeah, dude. They're you take a look at them. You see brain matter. They're gonna be fucking.
Oh,
dead.
well, okay, so they're already dead. Okay, never mind. I thought they were currently falling.
Nah, dude. They're gonna be there. They're dead.
Okay. I am going to cast Scorching Ray.
Scorching Ray.
Yeah, and all 3 bolts are going to Giant.
Hell yeah, gotcha. All
Okay.
3 bolts go in and roll all 3. You add your arcane firearm to one of the damaging bolts.
Fuck, 15?
15 hits. Beats it.
Okay, cool. Shit, 10 doesn't.
10 misses.
And then... Fucking hell! 12.
Sweet. So one of the bolts manages to kind of catch him in the chin, burning some of his beard. Dealing...
As a reaction?
Yeah, what's up? Reaction for what?
Guidance.
Guidance doesn't work for attack rolls.
Yeah.
No, okay.
And +4. Gotcha.
Alright.
So still a good amount of damage there. As the Frost Giant cries out in pain. As you can tell, he's heavily hurt right now. Not necessarily on his last legs though, but definitely very much bloodied.
Alright, and attack with the, Force Kick.
Gotcha. Your Eldritch,
For
aim your
15.
Eldritch Cannon. 15 meets it, beats it. Roll for damage.
I am rolling for shit this turn.
Sweet. 8 points of damage there. as you see a section of his arm kind of come loose from that force energy, as Sirak is dropped only maybe about like 10 to 15 feet from the air. You see him fall with like a hard crunch onto the ground before he manages to try to scuttle away. You think that he either probably broke a leg maybe, or probably has a very bad sprain. So I think that's the end of your turn, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, sweet. The guards are going to loose some more arrows as Brighthelm kind of stands back up. He just says, "Down that foul beast." One for a nat 1, another for a 9. So all the guards' arrows just kind of drop short. As Modus, it's your go with Felix on deck.
Alright, since I saw that Brighthelm got hurt, I'm going to second level Cure Wounds her.
Okay. Hell yeah.
And that's 9 points of healing towards her.
Sweet. And you see
like,
that?
you're still in this fight, sweetheart.
Gotcha. And you see that large gash across her face begin to kind of close up and heal as little, like, almost like larva bees, like very baby bees, kind of help stitch together the wounds. Wounds there, and kind of like seals it with a little bit of honey there.
Yeah.
You know, before like magically disappearing. Love it. Anything else you're doing there?
Well, that was my action, and I know that you don't allow cantrips as bonus action, so that's everything that I can do.
Okay. Felix, it's your go with enemy on deck. Let's see who's gonna attack this time. Oh, I already know. Actually, I'll let the dice decide. Felix, your go.
All right.
Okay, 4.
Let's see if I can get one of these arrows to hit finally.
Yep, go ahead and attack just as you see like bits of burning beard kind of like go towards the air from Victor's fucking firebolt.
Oh, you said he's not quite bloodied yet?
Oh, he's heavily damaged right now. Not necessarily on his last legs, but he's definitely approaching it quick.
This building, I'm gonna move my token. This building here, he landed on, so token, right?
This building right here is completely crushed by the giant kind of like stepping on it after getting pushed back. Right, so
Okay.
another building is just right here, which you can definitely jump to. Like I said, this one here that you're on right here, this one's destroyed. This one's still good.
That's too far to make a jump to him, isn't it?
Yes, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. So I'll stay over here.
Okay.
I'm going
Actually,
to.
you know what? Let's let the dice
once
fucking
again-
decide. Go ahead and roll in athletics if you want to try to jump from that house over to that frost giant there. I'll go ahead and do that. Is that something that you would want to try to attempt to do? It'll be an acrobatics check.
Yeah, I wanted to do one of those, like, I guess it's fucking Gamora again, kind of like both daggers go in as I, like, slide down him.
Yeah, I totally can see it. As Modus, this one, if you wanted to cast guidance on Felix for his attempt on here, it's gonna be a difficult DC, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely assist by casting guidance in his direction for it.
Gotcha. So Felix, go ahead and so you make it over to like the building over like just next to you, enough space to try to jump onto the back of this this dwarf here. Or not this frost giant here. Go ahead and make your acrobatics check and add 1d4 to the roll.
Acrobatics. Ooh. And a D4. So 12 plus 3.
That's a 15.
15.
So as the giant, you think it's going to like continue walking towards the market. You see your opportunity there, Felix, and you jump out, daggers in hand, looking to strike the back of this frost giant to get your leverage on it. But as your daggers hit his patchwork armor, they don't quite penetrate. As you're not on top of his back and you slide down, so now you're kind of like on the ground. You didn't take any fall damage from it, right? But like not enough to be able to hold on to him. So now you're at the feet of this giant here.
That sounds very bad. I would like to attempt to get some more space.
Okay.
Move back a little bit.
I'm gonna say like I'm gonna say that jump was probably like your 30 feet of movement speed because you jumped across the other house and jumped across to him right there. Let's roll and see if perception. He's a pretty burly guy. Let me see if he's actually like noticed you there. Perception's what? Wisdom?
Yes. Wait.
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's an 11. What's your that's an 11. What's your passive stealth here? That's just 10 plus 6, so 16. So I'm gonna say so you slide off and you don't think that he might have not have noticed you necessarily. Okay.
Okay, so that was my movement though. So can I attempt to
Cunning action hide.
go ahead? Yeah, I was going to say try to hide in whatever
Go ahead and
debris.
do that. I like that much better. Cunning action hide. Go ahead and roll a stealth check. In order for him to find you, he would have to beat this stealth check with a perception check. Okay, I actually like that much better. Because you are in like a bunch of debris right now from that house that just got destroyed. So go ahead and roll a
Regular
stealth for me.
check, no advantage,
Yep,
right?
just regular stealth check. And as the frost giant's turn here, a 21. Okay, gotcha. So you managed to kind of like get yourself underneath some of this debris. This frost giant is going to see you, Victor, as you just burnt off his fucking beard here and whatnot. You're going to see him kind of pick up some of this debris, kind of like you, Felix, feel like his the breeze of a giant finger kind of move by your head. Luckily, you weren't scooped up in this. As he launches debris at you, Victor, for a a 12, as you manage to kind of like put up your shield as it beats off of this debris that got flung in your direction. As the frost giant begins to make his way over towards you, Felix, can do an attack of opportunity if you so choose. But it would use your reaction.
I was actually just about to ask about that. I was like, as his fingers like get into the rubble, I was going to try to like slice at it with my dagger.
That can be your attack of opportunity. Go ahead and roll to attack for me. Victor, it's going to be your go after this, with guards on deck and you, Asmodus.
Let's see, action. So that'd just be a normal attack with dagger?
Yep, just a normal attack with your dagger. 19 hits. Roll for damage. Let's see, 6 points of damage as you manage to carve a nice gash against his finger. Victor, this giant's approaching you. He's angry. He's bleeding profusely. Giant great axe in hand, looking to split you in two. What do you do?
I am going to cast Scorching Ray again, and hope this time I get more hits.
Gotcha. You aim your arcane firearm and 20 hits. Yep, that's 3 streaks of fire come out. 22 hits.
And come on, get it.
And 8. The last one goes wide.
Alright, so it's gonna be 10 plus.
Nice, good hit.
9 plus.
Nice.
6.
Max damage on the arcane firearm. And how do you do it?
Just straight to the face.
Straight to the face. Sweet. And as that scorching ray hits, like the second one that followed up, it sears a hole through the frost giant's nose, kind of leaving some of his brain exposed, not necessarily punching through his thick skull. And he falls backward, kind of stumbling a few steps before a very loud thump. His head just narrowly missing you, Felix, on his fall. All right. The giant lays dead. All right, just past the gates here. You hear like, you hear in the surrounding area. One of the other giants saw this and lets out almost like a call. And moments later, you see these other frost giants begin to retreat from the city as they've been kind of constantly hurling rocks into the center of town here. Right? And as you kind of like go to kind of like loot the corpse of this frost giant, looking inside his really big bag here, what you find is it's that ivory horn, right? An ivory horn that you can estimate it's worth 750 gold.
Alright, I know what I'm selling.
You, Victor, find 15 100 gold piece gemstones, and you, Felix, managed to scrounge out a distinctly looking cloak that this frost giant kind of had on his back, that as you kind of removed its tassels, kind of shrunk down to your size, that's like a petite size. So you, Felix, picked up a cloak of elven kind. Okay.
Let me look that up real quick.
And that is where we're going to actually end for the session. No, actually, sorry, one last thing, actually. So, Sirak here is going to kind of come around the corner as you're all coalescing around this frost giant. As he is going to say... Boom, 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 boom. This frost giant was looking for my father. I believe that they might have been after the Ring of Winter, an ancient artifact that has been in the Simber family for generations.
Quick question before we depart and go back and, rest for the, day, or,
What question do you have there, adventurer?
Do you know of any of your father's contacts that might know where he is at?
Yes.
Okay, I need their names on a piece of paper and mailed to...
Not necessarily a he, and it's very dangerous. But the name Harshnag.
Harshnag, okay.
Now be warned. Harshnag is neither human, nor elf, nor dwarf, but instead of one of their kind here, as Sirak points to the frost giant. Right? As he says, but Harshnag has been slaughtering giants of his kind for some time now. The frost giants here, if they were seeking the Ring of Winter, perhaps it had something to do with the ordning that was fractured.
Yes, for sure. We heard all about it from our good friends and foes. No.
I do not. Right. And that's where we'll actually end for the night.
Yep.
You said 1,500, 15 gems worth of gold each, right?